He's already fucked it up.
He's already, yep. I get your back, buddy. Ooga fucking ooga cunts. Welcome to Cunt Stream Beta. Tonight we're going to be talking about, I have no idea what, but I'm doing the intro out of nowhere.
Did you just steal my intro?
Well, you weren't doing it.
You sat there for 15 seconds without saying anything.
We actually called you out.
You gotta look for the little live button.
I did. I saw it, and then Dolphin went. Fuck are you a dolphin?
Fuck you, Dolphin. Fuck you,
where? No, we need to get Gasly on just so I can say fuck you, where. Every time he says all hail blue whale. So, what are we talking about tonight, guys?
Owning people.
Owning people?
Ooh.
Like slavery style or like
Not really.
style?
No.
Politico.
Politipod.
Sorry about
an article.
Yes, we have an article.
Wow, no introductions or anything, Dolphin.
Yeah.
I'm rating you on Yelp right now, fucker.
All right, you do that.
I'm so mad at this fish.
God damn it! I need an Amy's Bakery meme.
With the mead that he makes in his living room. That's what we're rating, right?
Make it in your living room?
No, actually,
You have like a shitty bathtub in your living room?
no. I have a formal dining room that we don't use, so that's the brew house.
What are you brewing?
Mead.
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 No, I know you brew mead, but I just wanted to tell me you brew it in like a dirty bathtub.
No,
That's not how you make mead.
If you go to my channel, you'll see a video, a DIY video for how to make a 5-gallon mead bucket.
You make gin in a bathtub.
Yeah, you make the gin in the bathtub.
Okay. All right, you want me to
make wine?
You make it in a bucket.
And you make wine in a toilet.
Oh my god.
We are
wine in a barrel.
So, Politico magazine published an article that's currently called "Sponsor an Immigrant Yourself," but originally, and they had to apologize for this. It was, "What if you could get your own immigrant?"
Are immigrants like Pokemon now?
Oh, can we get it?
This is what happens when you let people submit stuff and don't run it by an editor first. The editor would have taken one look at that and been like, "Bitch, are you crazy?"
Is there a catalog? Can I call Amazon for an immigrant?
I want a Samoan.
Will it arrive by drone?
No, it doesn't arrive by drone. It's like the Pokemon Go app. You just scroll through the index, and then you just catch them with Pokeballs.
And it shows little. If you aim your phone at whatever you're looking at, it'll show little immigrants like hiding in the bushes and shit like that.
Oh god,
you little bugger!
Someone needs to make that game now.
I also love the fact that
all right, guys.
Politico is basically saying we do not endorse the opinions expressed in any article we publish, but you'll publish them, though, right?
So here's a great thing is I found an archive of this particular one. So here you go. Schmeckle, you wanna present me here, buddy?
It's beautiful.
Is that
Just
not
come
the most...
on down to your local INS station. And...
Sponsor you an immigrant.
All right, so
before we have to put them down.
What we need to do is we need to make that right there the screenshot for this stream.
And I'd just like to submit a PSA to everybody, remind everybody not to get bread immigrants. Go to the pound and go to the shelter and pick one up.
Oh jeez.
It's much better.
Yeah, these immigrant meals are just terrible.
Yeah.
They drown the weird looking ones. In boats off of Italy. Oh my god, I'm going to hell.
Were there a hell?
Oh yeah. Actually, it's Greece. But
the funny thing is,
I would want like a slightly dark one. Can you choose colors and shit?
I know, but they're talking about like illegal immigrants. I'm assuming, like adopting a legal immigrant.
No,
but
legal.
They said
legal.
immigrant.
No. This is a sponsorship program. You know how if you live in another country and an American company sponsors you, this would let private citizens basically do the same thing.
Wait, so they're turning sponsorship into like they're trying to twist it into like white guys get to own darkies.
Wait,
No,
does that mean-
somebody was just really stupid and made a stupid.
This
I don't
is so
think
cool.
you think
like
you're
you
giving.
could choose you could choose from lip size. You could
I think
choose
you're
from,
really
like,
giving Politico too much credit.
This has got to become a meme.
Oh yeah.
This is too good.
Do they come with portfolios so you know what they're good at?
so real it surpasses memes.
I want a resume. I want to see a resume before.
I want to see a resume before we do sponsorship. It's like, oh,
Right.
that's great. You do landscaping and house cleaning? Yeah, I'll sponsor you.
Do you speak English?
You're an accountant? Awesome.
Hey, what am I gonna do with the nuclear physicist? I mean, really, come on. Did you even think about this?
You just get it. You get an accountant. Then tax return.
From Boston.
Then tax season comes, and you place that immigrant in front of the computer with the tax code and go, "Great, have fun."
Oh, what if you get what if your immigrant is like was an accountant in El Salvador or something like that?
Yeah, and
I
he
mean,
can really,
accounting's
and he can really cook your books like no.
Yeah, that's some that is a double whammy right there.
That is, I just saved you so much money with all legal loopholes in
Oh,
your tax
God.
code.
The
Oh,
Remy said, "Don't forget to spay or neuter your immigrants." Holy shit!
So you got to be careful with that kind of shit, though, because if you get that kind of accountant immigrant from El Salvador or something like that, he may just assume that you have an enforcer and get you in some real shit. You know what I mean? Yeah, it could go bad.
You might have to explain that you actually want like above the board books, and then make sure that he actually knows what that is.
Okay, so you only get the college educated immigrants.
Yeah.
Man.
Well, that really limits your choices.
Did you click on open up the article?
Well,
Let's
no,
read it.
not necessarily. I mean, that depends.
I don't
If
know.
you're looking for
This
like
is just,
housekeeper,
An immigrant is a lot of responsibility, guys. You have to walk it. You have to feed it. You have to take
It's
it out to the
it's like
bathroom.
Family Guy.
We're
It's
all
like
going to
Family Guy
hell.
Remember that one episode of Family Guy where Chris wins a gay guy, and then Lois is like, "You got to take care of him and feed him," and then Chris is like, "You look beautiful today. Still hungry. Your eyes look great today. I'm full."
Oh, you gotta purchase lemon pledge and shit.
oh yes. And don't worry.
More lemon pledge.
All right, so somebody want to read this?
Fuck yeah.
Zeal, go for it.
You know, Rin.
I know what.
Oh, hush, reading Rainbow.
You're win now.
Oh,
No,
that's-
just call her reading Rainbow.
oh,
You're
you
on the
laughed.
list.
You laughed. Butternut.
It's Zeal and Reen.
You laughed on a tangent.
Okay, I'm
Butternut-
gonna read this shit.
Go ahead.
So shut up, Dolphin.
I wasn't,
The raw emotions. God damn.
I wasn't even talking.
The
dude.
raw. The raw. That was a joke, Dolphin.
You sound like you're about to cry.
Generated by
You really
immigration
hurt my
policy.
feelings, man.
No, Dolphin. I love you. I just can't be in you. I have to be in Brockus.
Well, I mean that's okay because
So-
we
Can I get
can
past the
reverse-
first fucking line?
I don't know, man. You're having a really hard time with it.
It's really troubling. Provoked by heartrending stories of families torn apart by deportation or citizens murdered by illegal immigrants have scrambled political allegiances and confused public debate. Republicans, usually the champions of family values and small government, now want to restrict family reunification and give bureaucrats the power to screen people who want to enter the country. Democrats, traditionally the allies of the working class, want big business to select immigrants and have given scant attention to the legitimate interests of working class natives The only way to end this politically charged debate is to think carefully about benefits and costs as well as politics and perceptions. We need a new immigration system that offers liberal admission policies that targets its benefits to native workers rather than corporations. So this doesn't sound too... It doesn't sound too slanted to me. It sounds reasonable so far.
Had some nice spin on it. Like now want to restrict family reunification. That is a nice way of putting what to limit the number of people allowed into the country.
It's a nice way to say that they want to stop chain migration.
Yeah.
I don't agree with chain migration either. When my grandparents came over from Germany, my grandmother, despite having her visa and everything in order, had to wait 3 years because my grandfather couldn't get his shit together.
Mm-hmm.
So she couldn't come over on her own because 60s. So if she had to wait, y'all have to wait too.
Economic research provides little doubt that immigration benefits our economy. Highly educated immigrants offer their skills, entrepreneurial drive, and much-needed expertise for our most important industries. Low-skilled migrants are willing to do backbreaking but vitally important labor that most Americans refuse. Both types bring their purchasing power, which increases the demand for American services and American-made goods, and their cultural heritage, which enriches ours. The problem posed by migration is that the benefits are not evenly distributed. They flow to the migrants themselves and the corporations that hire them. Consumers do receive better products and lower prices, but ordinary people don't really perceive these benefits. And working class people may suffer a decline in their wages, some or many of them, depending on which economist you ask, but most agree the decline is not large, or certainly in most cases, believe that immigration undercuts their wages and threatens their cultural values.
Depending on the country they come from.
Yes.
Fair enough. Yeah, but so far this sounds like a pretty balanced report. I don't know. Is it going to get like crazy lefty or righty or what's going on?
I don't buy that line that there are jobs in this country that most Americans refuse to do. You give a job opening somewhere, there is an American looking for a job who will fucking do it. They just won't do it for $4 a fucking hour, dude.
Yeah, that I was about to say they won't do it for the price that the companies want them to do it for.
Yeah.
They're not willing to do it for below minimum wage. That's
pretty much.
Correct. So who's
minimum
the real
wage
villain
is
there?
just their way of saying I'd pay you less if I was legally allowed to.
Speaking of which, I just released a video on DACA. You guys should check that one out because it's really hilarious how they really fucked people with DACA.
I also made a video. It has nothing to do with any of this, but
thanks, Ren.
I did do a video. Yeah. I am not Ren.
God damn it! You guys sound alike.
You did that last time too.
No, they don't.
No, we don't.
I'm looking at this article and I can tell them apart.
Do you want to talk about your DACA video then? That sounds pretty fucking interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, this article just seems pretty straightforward.
Yeah, for the dumpster fire that was the original title, it actually seems like a pretty good plan.
Yeah, that was just a terrible title, dude, because the article isn't terrible. It's just like, what the fuck, dude? Like,
hey, go ahead and take me down, Schmeck.
Yeah, it feels better. It feels even weirder because it's Politico. They're usually not this balanced.
It's just a really great screenshot of the article header that I got there.
I know it's such a beautiful meme.
Oh my god, it is. You don't even have to meme it. It is a meme in and of itself.
It is, but you could change it. Like, what if we could just own people again?
So, Dolphin, someone in the chat said that you also made a video on docking.
No. Back up. Do not.
We can talk about space docking if you like.
Do not.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Do not proceed.
Dolphin
you don't know what space docking is?
I do.
Look, I have several open cases, and I don't need to talk about anything.
I feel like the chat wants to know what space docking is.
Well, come to the lagoon, and I'll show you.
Type Rain in the chat if you want to hear what space docking is.
Oh God.
Yeah, that's not gonna work on me.
Can we go 3 minutes without
it's not about
doing
you, Dolphin.
It's
about
get us demonetized.
Well, that worry is by itself is probably not going to ping anything.
If someone super chats the N-word, I'll scream it.
Please don't.
As long as
I demonetize
hold on.
our show every Tuesday.
Hold on. If you put the word potato before it, they just think you're talking about Irish people, Irish or white. That's okay.
I'm so not racist. I don't even use vinegar on my salad.
Oh, wow.
Sorry, that was a little whoosh over my head. Why did that?
Yeah, that was a whoosh.
Adam,
I mean, that's one of those situations where you're like comparing apples and lawnmowers.
Okay, so the fact that it has nothing to do with being racist is why it's funny. Okay.
Marcus is mad that Zell can't tell me and Red apart.
You don't get it? You don't
Well,
get the
Nope.
vinegar? Vinegar?
Vinegar, yeah.
Vinegar?
Now I get it.
Okay. Okay.
Wow.
Sorry,
Yes, I know crickets were
racism in
appropriate,
every
but
word.
Schmeckle's muted and all the crickets are dead.
What happened to the crickets?
Winter.
Oh yeah.
Winter is here.
Yeah.
Canadian winter, that's what happens.
Winter has come.
It's fucking cold, eh?
It's kind of cool, eh?
So,
As your snot freezes to your face.
I didn't even know you guys had crickets in Canada.
Oh yeah, in an earlier Cunt stream, there was a bunch on Schmeckle's patio, and so whenever there was dead air, it was just crickets in the background.
That's
But then winter came and there weren't any more crickets.
So something's premiering tonight. Since you guys don't seem to have a topic.
no, it's
Get
called
controversial.
Black Panther, I think.
Yes.
I thought
Yeah.
It shouldn't be. It's just a fucking movie. Everybody
It's the
calls
wokest
Lockdown.
of the wokes of the cinematic wokeness that you'll
Tuesday-
ever woke.
Tuesday
What's the
night.
best movie ever?
Everyone's so
Tues-
fucking painfully woke.
Tuesday night, I was reading off on our stream. I was reading off the Rotten Tomatoes reviews, and we were judging like which ones were the cringiest. My favorite Rotten Tomato review was 3 fucking words, and it was Black Panther matters.
Nope, yeah, that's the winner. See,
Damn.
I'm bouncing between not looking forward to seeing it and really looking forward to seeing it, depending on which article I saw that day. And how
I want to
cringy
see
it was.
it looks badass, and I just kind of am ignoring the fucking bitches.
I do
I
too.
don't want to see it.
But that's because I'm a hipster. I like Black Panther before it was cool, motherfuckers.
Oh, now you just sound gay.
I mean,
When you say I did X
boobs are
before
great.
it was
What's the
cool,
key?
when you say I did X before it was cool, you're just admitting that you've been a loser and, people caught on to it.
oh, thank you for pointing that out.
I'm
Oh
just
yeah,
saying.
well I love stuff before it's awful.
I love that.
I hop
Article-
on hot.
Is
I
that what-
hop on.
It also
I
means I
hop
don't
on
give a
hype
shit about
trains.
trends. I just
Is that
like
why you
what I
have a
like.
collection of Furbies and chia pets?
I hop on to hyped up trends, and then as soon as they're awful, I'm like, I never liked that.
Yes,
Oh,
Trace and Mail
God.
brought up the Rotten Tomatoes score, and that was what was so fucked up is the person who gave it the rotten
No,
score
No,
didn't
on
even give it a
Tuesday.
rotten score. It just wasn't a perfect score.
No, on
Yeah.
Tuesday I found 3 negative reviews. 2 were from one they were all out of the country, I believe. And then there was that infamous one by a guy who was in Ireland. And I guess
Yeah.
that was the guy who got shit on. But the other 2 were girls that gave it negative reviews.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
basically-
the Irish guy was like a small Irish publication.
Yeah, and all he said was it was something to the effect of that it was
You
just
wanted
kind
to
of
see more
stale.
action.
Yeah,
Yeah. That was
plot line was
yeah.
stale, and
Yeah,
he
yeah.
wanted more fight scenes, which means he's basically complimenting the fight scenes that were there and wished he could see more of them.
Yeah, and it was a 2.5 out of 5 score. So it was like 50%, whatever. Like he didn't like it. It didn't gel with him.
yeah.
I've heard it's a decent movie that stands on its own, but they
I've
just
heard
got
it's
to,
kick ass.
I've heard it's decent, but here's the thing: when people get pissy, it's like a 2.5 out of 5 is still that's an average movie. That's not saying, oh my
Depending
god,
on how
I hated it.
yeah,
It's
depending
more
on
like
how people judge their scores.
I think Brockus has a crush on you, Zell.
He does. That's the guy.
They're
That's the guy I'm getting
hetero-lifers.
married to.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, he's my hetero life man. Unfortunately,
Oh, yeah.
we've known each
So
other too long.
Schmeckel and I have to. We're in a race to see who can get the. Who can get the certification quickest to officiate the wedding?
Yeah,
we
they're
already
gonna
know. We already
they're
know
getting married
some.
on the show.
Minister Orange.
We have a
Yeah,
flower
Ichabod
girl.
Orange.
All we have
Ichabod's
is a
beat you.
flower girl.
Ichabod beat me?
Yeah, Ichabod is already a reverend, so he beat you.
Oh, son of a bitch.
Ichabod Orange can marry them.
You want to get married by a raccoon?
Do we have a reverend?
We could turn
Yeah.
this into a real race if you
Okay, we
decide
got
to
a
go
Reverend
with the
Raccoon.
Jewish wedding. Yeah.
We have Little Miss Anon is our flower girl.
Okay, but the only rule is your wedding vows have to start with ooga fucking ooga cunt.
Now, fuck off! I don't shell your shit. We're gonna talk about proper villains and then make out.
No, and you have to you have to tell them that the wedding is sponsored by Coach Red Pill.
Yes.
Oh, I forgot we were still getting paid for that.
Oh my god, is Prince of Queens still like just is it like another tinfoil hat after another like?
He did a
he
stream.
doubling
I didn't
down?
watch it.
He did a show stream begging for
Yeah.
money that he needed a new computer or something like that. Or he was
Yeah, he needs like
asking
$100
for
right now. No, just the charger.
yeah, just a charger.
Okay.
Yeah, I heard that the
Better.
title was cringy as fuck.
Never mind, you can
Just
get a
the tip.
universal for like $45 at Best Buy.
Yeah, dude, you don't need to raise $100.
Dear
Yeah.
dear ContraPoints, a kind message from a queer elder.
Queer elder.
Why is he a queer elder?
That was where the meme came from with Elder Scrolls.
Because he's 36. Which is
Christopher
like,
Tavares.
that's why
Holy
he's
cow.
a queer elder.
What a
Christopher,
dick.
yeah, he's like ancient in gay culture.
Thanks a lot.
Christopher Tavares says have lots of butt babies, Ellen Brockus.
There's plenty of
I'm trying. I'm
gay
trying.
guys.
It might come to rape. I don't know.
Brockus, let him touch your peen.
Come on, let him do it.
Now we're demonetized. Shit.
Brockus, I'll put another picture for my Valentine's Day shoot on Twitter if you let him touch it.
But he likes Zell. I mean, come
That's
on.
what she's talking about.
Oh, that's the Valentine's Day? Oh, never mind. Go for it.
She's just trying to sweeten the pot. She's like pictures,
Yeah, you
and
didn't
you
give
get a
me-
touch peen.
He didn't give me shit for Valentine's Day.
Oh,
What a dick.
our producer has said that technically Ichabod Orange is ordained in 48 states.
Dude, this is getting better and better.
And he's got
planning.
warrants in the
What
other
else do you
two.
need for a wedding? I've never-
Well, let's see.
I need a best man. Ren, would you be my best man?
Oh,
Sure, I'll be your best man.
Fuck.
Now we need a matron of honor.
The fuck
if you
is that?
say me, I will find you and punch
Maid
you.
of honor, matron of honor, same difference.
Oh,
I'm
You don't
married.
want-
I am
Thorn-
not old enough to
Thorn.
be a matron.
Thorn, you got a problem with this? You want to be a maid of honor?
Yes.
You're the maid of honor.
Ooh, you're getting shut down though, Zell. Brockus says it would be more possible for him and Samaj to end up fucking than for you and him to get married.
Now
Now we can
gets
make
Samaj.
that happen.
Oh,
We
no.
can make that happen, Brockus.
Samaj just had an offer.
We
I'm
just
not
have
quite
to
sure.
be in the unique position to serve Samaj's ass to you on a
No,
silver
no.
platter.
It
I
always
don't know.
degenerates.
I don't think he
It
hasn't gotten to
always-
a decade yet. It's like he has to get to a decade before he considers turning
He's
gay.
got, he's got
We guys, we've gone way down.
It's funny though.
They're planning their wedding.
Dolphin, shut up. Why are you trying to get us back on track?
We do kind of need to get back on track with something.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yay,
Okay.
bad cop.
Oh, goddamn it.
Aw.
God damn it.
Hey, that's
Hey,
not
look at
funny, eh?
Christopher Tavares wants to know who's wearing the dress.
All of them.
Steve
I don't know.
Shives
No,
came
no,
out
I
with
was
a gun
asking you this.
video.
Ren, I was asking you this last time because this determines like the bitch butch kind of thing. Which one of us is prettier? And that's who will wear the dress.
Well, Zeal, then you'd have to wear the dress because I couldn't see Brockus being on the bottom.
Fair enough.
Uh,
However I can get it, I'll get it.
Ouch.
Oh, Stonky the Real says we beat the Kumite for today. Thank you.
Oh,
That Kumite was fucking insane, dude. It was
I-
stressful
I
as fuck. It was entertaining as fuck sometimes.
I
Joyce
heard of-
Sparkles was on it, right? I caught like half
Yeah.
of it.
It was
I
Joyce
think I
Sparkles
like her now.
calling out some fucker that wrote some article, and I guess He got a lot of shit wrong. But it just ended up being one crazy, cringy chick yelling at some pathetic, cuck, cringy boy. And that's all it was for 7 hours. It was insane.
Yeah, I remember hearing about it on my afternoon stream. People were coming and going, "Oh my god, that Kumite!" And it's like, "Oh, was it that bad?"
No, it wasn't bad. It was a good kumite. It was just stressful as fuck because it was just so it was nonstop.
Does anybody else like Joy Sparkle a little more now?
No, she still creeps me the fuck out. But she could be right about what she's talking about on the kumite, but she's still cray cray and cringy as fuck.
Yeah, no, she's a weird person, but
she could be right and crazy at the same time. And I've never disliked her, but I've never liked her. I don't know. She's in that weird category of
neutral.
Indifference.
Indifference. She exists. Whatever.
Yeah.
Hey Thorn.
Yeah.
So I liked your YouTube video that is titled "Why I Don't Go Fishing Anymore," and now all of a sudden on Twitter I've been added to a list called "Go Fishing Video / Fishing Peeps."
Oh, that's wonderful. Oh,
I've been added to a fishing list.
I hope that leads back to my video, and all the people in that group are extremely confused.
Yes,
Yeah.
they will be.
Because I haven't watched it with sound yet, but this doesn't look like it has anything to do with fishing.
I mean, it does.
Not the video part of it, at least.
No, not the video. No.
Yeah.
I always just choose random stock footage. This one I think was a glitch tape.
Yeah, it's trippy as
Usually
fuck.
glitch tape. I know, it's great, isn't it?
Yeah, it's trippy.
It's really hypnotic.
It's like kind of like horror movie trippy.
Yeah, that's why I picked it.
Yeah.
I love the old. I have another one. It's not long enough to use for the whole video, but basically somebody took an old. Somebody was recording something at night, so they took the VHS tape, like crushed the crap out of it, rolled it back up, and then played it through and recorded that. It's pretty cool, but it's not long enough to use for anything.
Mhm.
I'm just like leaving a comment down there. Upload the whole fucking thing. Just the whole hour-long thing. I will use that.
Oh man. Well, yeah, I haven't listened to it yet, but I did like it, and so now I'm on. I've been targeted by the fishing community. This guy has fucking 7,000 followers.
Wow. Huh.
Mm.
No, I really hope that they just end up confused as hell.
Let's. I'm gonna tweet your video at him now and see if he retweets it.
Holy crap,
Yes.
guys.
Please, yes.
Oh. So I've got something we could definitely bring up and talk about. This is ridiculous. You guys have got to check this out. See if I can find where the Google Hangouts is. There it is. So, a radical solution to global income inequality. Make the U.S. more like Qatar.
Oh,
Pause. Isn't Qatar the country that has legalized slavery?
yes.
Workers that immigrate there and then have their passports taken?
No,
It's-
they have indentured servitude.
It's not legal slavery. They're
don't-
not supposed to do that.
They
Nobody
don't
does
call
anything about
it
it.
they don't call it slavery, so it's not actually slavery. They call it something else.
It's just
it
like
has all
pretty
the
much a
hallmarks of
loan that you're
slavery.
never going to pay off.
Yeah.
But they still basically have workers who come there, have their passports taken away, and
Also-
have to work.
Yeah, it's
and live
been
in
called the
shitty
world's
situations.
largest.
Yeah, Qatar also has
Is this
Sharia
starting
law.
for real? This is real?
Yes, this is a
I
new
thought this was a
republic article.
joke.
No.
No, this is New Republic. This is real.
What the fuck's New Republic?
It's apparently a commie rag. I'm sorry.
Oh.
It's an editorial magazine which features Marxist ideals.
God, any sane
That's a
person,
good way of putting that.
This is
and
why
no
I'm
sane
glad I
person
dropped out
would
of
want to
college.
make America anything more like Qatar.
No,
Oh,
they
and
execute you for having drugs on you.
I love how they quote the
Qatar.
Federal Reserve Chair, Janet Yellen, as part of this. She's on her way out, by the way.
Qatar's a shithole country.
Isn't Qatar also ban alcohol?
Yes.
Yes. Well, it's primarily Muslim, so you can't get bacon there either.
Yeah,
In
fuck
fact,
Qatar.
Fuck
I think-
Qatar.
Islam is the state religion. You have to be a Muslim.
We shouldn't be emulating any country that has a state religion.
No.
Any state religion.
But look, they have camels. Dude, I really want a camel. I got the new Assassin's Creed, and I want a camel.
I mean, you could just move out to the middle of nowhere and get a camel.
I heard you can
I'm still
Botox
not
their
convinced
lips,
that they're
and they're
not just
really
horses
hot.
with 2 tumors.
No, they got their necks are all weird.
I like camels, but they smell really funny.
And they also are very temperamental and will spit at you.
Well, they're
I
really
know, 'cause
cool
I
in
got
video
spat at.
games. So
They know the way.
Camels are smarter than horses.
yeah, you can like whistle,
They
and
are.
it pops up right behind you every time.
Yeah, if they don't like you, they'll just lay down and refuse to go anywhere.
Yeah, that always worried me about horses. They never stop standing. With a camel, they like lay down. You're like, okay, you're chill.
Oh no, horses can lay down. Just
Yeah,
No,
they
but
just-
like he has a good point though. That you don't see them really do that.
no,
they
not
sleep
very
while
often.
standing.
Yeah, they sleep
It
while
makes
standing
me
up. They
nervous.
can lay down. Though
When
if
they
there's
want
one
to.
that's laying down for long periods of time, there's probably something wrong with it.
If there's one that's laying down for really any period of time, then there's something wrong with it.
Unless it's this one lady's horse. She had to put a sign on the outside of the pasture that says the horse is not dead, the horse is not sick, the horse is just weird. Because he likes to just lay on his side in the pasture.
That's what happens when you keep breeding without bringing in a new horse.
Right.
No, that's what happens when the horse. That's what happens when the horse thinks he's a dog.
Pretty much. There was a dog in the pasture, so that's probably true.
Starts rounding up the sheep all by himself.
The reason they sleep standing up is because in the wild, it takes them a long time to get up. So if they get like attacked by a predator in the wild, that could mean the death of them.
Yeah. Well,
Camels
I
can get up
can,
pretty fast.
I can imagine if that horse thought it was a dog and like there was a dog nearby and they had a close relationship. You know, dog goes into heat. Next day, the dog is split in half and no one knows why. Just bad situation. I don't trust horses. They make me nervous. Not that they're like gonna bite me or kick me or they stink. It's just they never sit down. They don't chill out.
I've been bit by a horse. It bit me on the titty. I
Really?
fucking hate horses. Yeah, I'm scared of horses.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I was supposed to
But
run.
I like to bite people too.
Go look at horse's teeth and then see if you want that on your tit. Oh, geez. It hurt so much. And they're just like, okay, so we're just going to put you on a different horse. And then that one ran the fuck away with me on its back. I hate horses. I hate horseback riding. Fuck horses.
Horses are awesome.
I mean them no ill will, just as long as they stay the fuck away from me.
You goddamn horses.
Me and farm animals don't mix, except for cows.
You're horse shaming.
No, I don't like horses. I mean,
I
they're
learned something new
fine.
about cows the other day. I learned that they all graze facing the same direction, and it's either east or west, and they never face north or south.
Why do they do that? Do you know?
I don't. People think that it has to do with like
Wind.
that they don't have conflict when they're grazing facing each other and end up getting into stare down matches and shit like that and fighting. So I think the herd. I don't know. That's what I heard. I don't know if that's accurate.
Hey, you can take me off of presenting, unless you guys want to read that article. I just thought you'd enjoy that for a
That's
moment.
just fucked up. It's like, let's be more like Qatar. Let's not.
Be like more like, again, any country with a state religion.
It really just talks about wealth redistribution and raising minimum wage and not letting putting salary caps on.
They do realize that like the wealth redistribution in Qatar doesn't really reach the lowest people in society.
No, because here's what they don't realize is that the lowest people in society don't matter to the people in Qatar. They don't think of them as human.
No, they're subhumans.
No,
Yeah.
they're indentured servitude.
No,
No,
like they're more like horses or camels.
Yeah.
they're talking about people who aren't
Yeah,
not like
can't lay
ethnically
down.
Qatari. They think that they're less than human.
They're basically animals like horses or camels. They're
Oh.
workhorses.
I actually know a woman whose husband went to Qatar for a business trip, and he's like, there was an immediate difference. He's black, by the way, and there was an immediate difference in the way that everybody there treated his coworkers and him. He's like, they treated me like shit until they realized I was part of this crew.
Wow.
He said they treated me like I was their help.
I would love it to see the reaction if like a black CEO of a company came through there at first, and they're like treating him like shit.
Those exist?
They exist.
Yeah.
Yeah, Herman Cain.
I'm still learning.
Then see the look on their faces when they goes, "Well, I'm the CEO, actually."
Yeah,
and you're not getting this contract. And
yeah,
then
you're
going.
He's like, also they didn't apologize either. They just treated me the same all of a sudden. But like the taxi driver handed me people's bags. I'm just like, okay, I'm not their servant. These are my coworkers. We are equals. He's like, I've never faced discrimination for being black until I went to Qatar.
Huh.
He's like, not really in the United States. And then he went to Qatar.
Yeah, it's been described as the world's largest open-air prison.
Pretty much.
Oh, Cassie brings up a good point in chat. What would happen if they met a female CEO?
Oh gosh. And like they met a female CEO that like there's like, so we're gonna have you wear this scarf. No, I'm not wearing it.
No,
okay, now you guys are talking fiction. It's just we need
You're
to knock this shit off.
Nope, they exist.
Hello
YouTube.
Hello,
when in Rome.
And Susan Wojcicki.
Wojcicki?
Yeah, she's doing her world tour. She's starting off in Qatar.
Wojcicki?
It's gonna go swimmingly.
Chat's bringing up another point.
The mistake you made, Zell, is you thought they said competent woman CEO.
Yeah,
they didn't. They just said woman CEO.
There are competent female CEOs.
They usually run companies that cater to moms or things like that.
Thorn, you getting a little white knighty there, Thorn?
No, like Ren said, they usually run like childcare related companies, and they're really good at what they do.
Yeah,
I can't tell if you don't realize that we're joking or not.
I was agreeing with Ren. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
But see, this emotional outburst right here is why CEO females don't exist.
Again, this is just the way I talk.
All right, chat's bringing up another good point. Qatar's getting the FIFA World Cup in 2020.
They are.
Yet they don't allow alcohol. So what are all the soccer fans gonna do?
No, they're thinking that they're gonna make a special concession just for that stadium. You know, the one they're building with slave labor.
Oh, so
do they let the slaves have drinks on their breaks then?
No, a bunch of them have already died of heat stroke.
Oh yeah,
so it gets to be like 120 fucking degrees in Qatar.
Yeah, who wants to go see go to a soccer stadium that's open air in a place that's 120 degrees outside?
And it's gonna be in the summer, so
in the middle of the summer.
It's like the dead middle of summer.
I'm gonna enjoy watching that game on television in my nice air-conditioned living room.
Just watch all the fans pass out and how people are in the hospital because of
watch them use up the entire line in like half the game.
This is a major worry. They're actually some of the teams are scared for their players because it gets so fucking hot there.
It just brings a lot of backups.
Are they actually going to make it an air-conditioned stadium, though, or are they just going to do open air?
I can't remember if it's open air. I think it actually is enclosed.
I think they'll need to.
They'll need to, because otherwise I can't see very many countries sending their teams there. So it's like, you're talking almost 200 degrees outside. There's no way in hell we're having our players run around that heat.
Yeah.
Oh, it's open air.
Well,
really?
I'd say at least it's a dry heat, but it is kind of right there on the Gulf, you know?
Yeah.
The Persian Gulf.
It's a dry heat, so's a bonfire.
No, it's not a dry heat. It's on the Persian Gulf. It's like literally, it's a coastline nation.
It's closed. It has one of those retractable roofs.
Oh, good. They'll need
like
a lot of air conditioning.
It's like a little pimple on the right side of Saudi Arabia.
They're going to need a lot of air conditioning because I can't see many teams many countries being willing to send their teams to basically risk heat stroke.
Yeah, especially from any country that's not used to any type of heat whatsoever, like Germany.
Yeah.
That's right. They'll have like 100,000 Pakistanis running on treadmills in the basement generating. Yeah, it'll be fine. Everything will be fine.
No, try like
that's-
Bangladesh and India. That's where they get their slaves from.
Yeah, I know I'm gonna get crucified by some Pakistanis and Indians for saying this, but pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, you and yet you still said it.
I still said it because
That's
they
a
can't
great
swim.
way to get killed in either country.
They do have like a they have this weird tradition at the border of India and Pakistan in these certain towns, and it's hilarious because they hate each other, but they still do this like all the time, and I don't know how regular it is, but they line up along the borders. And they basically do chants back and forth, like "We've got spirit, yes we do" kind of thing, and it's playful, and it's been going on for like decades.
Well, it's because the
That's
people at the
amazing.
borders are bored. It's like,
Yeah.
what can we do?
Oh yeah,
And they,
there's
and
a
they know
town.
that
There's a town in
they know they're relatively unimportant to their central governments, so they're just like, yeah, we're just going to antagonize each
They don't
other.
give a fuck about us, so
and
we
after a
don't give
while,
a
it
fuck
just
either.
turns into a game. It's like, yeah,
But so there's a town in the in Texas on the border between Texas and Mexico that I guess somebody kicked like a soccer ball over into Mexico at one point, and some of the kids threw it back, and this turned into like a 2-generation long volleyball game.
yeah, that's
fucking awesome.
Yeah, they're just two towns that butt right up against the border, and yeah, now it's like everybody's friendly and fucking using the border fence to play volleyball.
And I'm sure Border Patrol goes, "Oh, it's a volleyball. Okay, just leave it alone. It's a volleyball game."
Yeah,
See-
they're probably just
see,
like,
when
we have
people-
bigger problems.
what people don't understand about the border is that people on both sides of the border, they have their homes right there. Like in Mexico, they have their homes right there. They don't want to come to the United States. They live right there next to the United States. And the people in Texas, they don't necessarily want to be in Mexico, but they also don't want a bunch of people coming onto their property through Mexico either. So like the immigration issue is still a problem, but there's no reason those people don't like each other. In fact, they get along very well. It's like neighbors, you know.
Yeah.
But it is still a border, and
There's like a town that some people go to for farmers markets. That's technically in Mexico. That they'll cross the border to go over there and come back.
Yeah, people in border towns don't give a fuck.
yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing a border wall neutral zone.
The sucky thing that I've learned about the border wall is that a lot of towns that butt right up against it, there's going to be a lot of folks that will probably lose their house.
Yeah.
Eminent domain, but they'll probably get paid for it. So,
And not as much as the house is worth, because that's how eminent domain works.
and they'll have a hard time doing that in Texas.
Yeah,
Like
they will.
they'll be able to pull it off in Arizona and New Mexico and California, but Texas actually has laws that you cannot own land unless you live in Texas, and that's why the federal government has to lease all their military bases out there. They're not allowed to own the land, so they're gonna have
there's a couple things about it. Texas is one of two states I think that actually has the legitimacy to secede from the United States.
Yeah, it has in its contract when it first joined, because Texas was a nation to begin with, and and that's why a lot of Texans, if you ask them, "Are you American?" they'll be like, "Well, I'm Texan," but yeah, they wrote that into whenever they joined the United States. They were like, "Yeah, we'll join. We'll be annexed. We were annexed as Texas and split into 5 different states with the right for the biggest state to secede." If they didn't think, if they had a 2/3 vote or something, I don't know what the regulations are. And the United States agreed that they would recognize the secession as a legal secession.
Yeah.
Which they promptly ignored during the Civil War.
Well, I mean, shit changes.
Actually, the thing with the Civil War, though, is Texas was just surrounded by other states. It didn't have any money. So they were just like, we don't really want to be in a war with anyone. So they joined their neighbors and sent no men. And then, like, when the war ended, they were like, yeah, we're part of the Union again. You guys done? Okay, cool. We're gonna go back to being Texas.
Yeah, we don't have fuck all to send, so we're just gonna do our best to stay the fuck out of it.
Yeah, 'cause Texas wasn't actually a slave state. It was just in the South.
Texas.
It
It
was
was Texas.
It was
Texas is. I always say Texas is not a southern state. Texas is just Texas. Also,
Yeah.
see Florida.
The United States is made up of 50 states and Texas.
Florida also wasn't involved in the Civil War because it was basically just a swamp.
Yeah, nobody lived there.
Nobody really lived there.
I always counted Texas as part of the Southwest. Not
Yeah.
really southern.
Parts of it are, but when you go to like Houston, Dallas, all the way over to Austin, it's really its very own little country. It's you just really have to go there to understand it.
Also, see Florida.
Yes.
Especially Miami. Especially Miami.
But for totally different and much more embarrassing reasons.
Oh, Miami is the capital of South America. No shit. So I heard that joke, then I moved there, and now I understand.
I thought it was God's waiting room.
No, that's the rest of Florida. Miami is the capital of South America. The rest
Yeah.
of Florida is God's waiting room.
Yeah, you're thinking of Tallahassee and Pensacola and
Yeah.
Panama City.
The,
Is it really that
Central
bad?
Florida is
that
God's
bad?
waiting room.
Is it really that bad in Florida? I keep Florida always gets shit. I've never been there.
It's like here's Florida. 90% of it is made up of old people who sold everything, moved to Florida, and then found out, fuck, I'm stuck in Florida with no income.
Also,
And no way to leave.
Northern Florida is Georgia Light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you should, if you really want to be entertained, you should follow this guy on Twitter called @FloridaMan, who
Holy
posts
shit.
he's fucking great.
Okay, so
Yeah,
that I
and
told
he
you
got
about that.
Miami-Dade.
Yeah.
That is actually a bot that basically reads the Miami-Dade and Florida area newspaper police blotters for anything that says Florida man or Florida woman.
That's
And it's fucking hilarious.
Hilarious.
My favorite is Florida man beats quadriplegic with fish.
Hey,
And-
can we get on a cool fucking topic instead of like a history lesson from the goddamn dolphin?
yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I
I
man.
was talking about like crazy shit that happens in Florida.
You're talking Florida man, dude.
Yeah, let's get some interesting stuff, some juicy stuff.
We could just read the
Ju-
Florida man thing.
You're like 15 seconds behind on everything, aren't you? You're
No,
behind on the intro. You're behind on this. What the hell, man?
I know what we're talking about, dolphin. I just wanted to change it up a bit.
I like history.
Okay.
Malevolent
I
Rider made a Florida man song.
Okay.
Hey, Malevolent Rider actually made a Florida man song.
Mm.
Really?
Yes, he did.
Can we hear it?
I don't know if we can because I don't think we have an ability to play audio, which is sad. I just wanted to mention that if anybody wanted to go to his channel and listen after
Drop
this,
that link, bro. Drop that link
drop
in
the
the
link,
chat.
dude. You have a wrench.
Yep.
Boom.
Um,
That's how you get a wrench. You make a song about Florida. Boom.
But yeah, Miami's weird.
Yeah.
Miami's an anomaly. There's a lot of places in the United States that are just not like any other place.
Doesn't Failure live around there?
Yes, he does.
Yes.
He lives in Miami.
Okay. Yeah, because he talks about it, I think, a lot, right? Like,
Yeah.
Yes.
The food is pretty fucking great. I'm not gonna lie. There's a
so you
reason
visited
Failures-
for a little bit?
I lived there for 4 years. There's a reason Failure's as big as
Holy
he is.
shit. Okay.
Half of the shit that Cubans make is deep fried, so
Well,
Fucking
because
A.
deep frying is delicious.
it's so good.
And the other half just isn't cooked.
I love when Failure gets excited and then he's like, I'll be right back. I got to get some ice cream for this. Right before Tonka reads something, and then they'll wait, and then he'll come back, and then Tonka will start reading it, and Failure will be like, this wasn't worth the ice cream. And I'm like, oh, that's why he was big.
Lucky ass
Have you ever met Failure in person?
No.
In
I'm probably
person?
gonna meet him
Yeah.
at VidCon this year.
Yeah, I met him
No.
at VidCon last year, and he's big. He's big. And my first introduction with Failure was I walked up to him and I was trying to be nice because Brockus was a huge fan, and I was like, "Hey man, can my friend Brockus get a picture with you?" and Failure leaned into my ear. Never met the guy, never heard about the guy yet. He leaned into my ear and he goes, "Oh my God, I'm totally fucking freaking out right now." The guy was fucking high off his ass. And I was like, okay, can we still do the picture? And he looked like he didn't even know what a picture was. And I was like, okay, this is Failure. I love Failure.
Okay, yo, bro, we'll do all the work. Say cheese.
Just sit there and smile.
Smile.
But yeah, Ren is posting in the side chat various headlines. Florida man leaves stash of drugs in plain sight after calling 911 to report false home invasion.
And these are real stories?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
This
So
is Florida in a nutshell.
So there's a joke about like the idiocy in Florida.
Burning Witch says in the chat, didn't a guy in Florida fuck a flamingo to death?
Yeah.
Yes.
This is what this guy was stashing. 45 grams of cocaine, more than 3,000 Xanax pills, 3,800 grams of marijuana, various synthetic drugs, and more prescription drugs.
Yep.
Wait, so he called the cops because why again?
False home invasion?
False home invasion. And he was stashing his drugs in plain sight.
So he wanted the cops to like, please search my place, and then he had the drugs there.
Yeah. Florida logic.
And this is Florida logic?
Yeah. Florida man pleads guilty. Here's another one. Florida man pleads guilty to brawl on flight using wine bottle.
To what?
Wait, what?
A Florida man, a 24-year-old guy, got on a flight and then got into a fight and used a wine bottle as a weapon.
Okay. All right. Now they're not all Cuban, right?
Nope. Most of them are white, actually. It's like white trash central down there.
I'm still wondering, like, when the Florida man invited the cop into his house and was like, "Here, search," he was like walk back to his couch and plop down and pull out his bong and like, "Y'all let me know if y'all need anything."
It's so weird because like my whole life I pretty much like anytime I thought of Florida, I always thought of like beautiful tropical area. Like I just thought of like a very beautiful place, and then every single time someone would talk about Florida, they would talk about it like it's like the crappiest boonies, like it's like Hemet but worse.
Oh, guys, and the funnier thing about the guy who called the cops, who got caught with all of the stuff, he was high when he called the cops. He was hallucinating.
That doesn't really add much. You are like, it's already bad.
That
like,
actually kind of gives them an excuse. Honestly.
Yeah, you might as well be high if you're gonna do something like that. You might as well enjoy the ride.
So what are you in jail for? I was high. I was like, that's just the explanation. I was high.
Sir, you're gonna get arrested because you obviously have drugs lying out in your room. That's totally cool.
Everything is awesome.
Y'all want to hit this?
Okay.
Why are you all purple?
I got some of the best headlines here that I'm looking at.
Okay.
Bring them on.
Florida man attempts to smoke crack in ICU, almost burns down hospital. Florida man flashes buttocks at IHOP after impersonating a police officer to get free food.
Wait. You gotta go back to that last one. What the fuck?
Okay, this is Matt Skyler, 55, entered the IHOP around 1 a.m. Friday and told the server who asked if he had money, "No, but I am a cop and I get food for free," according to a police report obtained by the Orlando Sentinel. He then threatened to beat up the IHOP server and shouted, "Hey, buddy," before dropping his pants and exposing his buttocks to the IHOP employee, according to the Sentinel.
He was talking about burning down the hospital with a crack pipe, but okay.
No. This is a different Florida man. This is different.
Yeah, it's not the same guy. That would have been amazing if this is all the same guy.
Yeah, I was just rolling through different headlines, and I
went to the hospital, and then I laid out drugs in my house, and then I showed my ass to some guy while pretending to be a cop. Good day. That was just one day in Florida.
Florida man bites off neighbor's ear because he wouldn't give him a cigarette.
What?
You want to hear that one?
No, we got enough of that. We got our Florida Mike Tyson. We're good.
Everybody keeps asking me why, Thorne, it's so nice in Florida. Why did you move back to Chicago? Because the people are less crazy.
Isn't Chicago, like, bad right now?
Sections of Chicago. This is the thing with Chicago. There are neighborhoods that are bad. Good block, bad block is a game you can play.
What?
No, like, you can go, you'll know. Everybody's like, how do I avoid the bad
I
areas of
won't
Chicago?
know. I'm not going there.
Good
Why?
block, bad block.
I'm
Why?
lying.
Because they
I'm
have
not going
headlines
there.
like Florida man claims wife was kidnapped by holograms.
Okay, that one we got to delve into.
Yes,
That one we got to delve into.
The
God
man,
damn it.
whose name has not been released, was extremely agitated and holding a baseball bat when officials arrived. He told them that the men abducted his wife and that they used holograms to project signals on the walls to get him to do what they wanted and to communicate with each other, according to a sheriff's report.
That's how I would do it. If I were to kidnap a wife, I would use holograms. This
The
is totally
responding
reasonable.
deputy located the woman in question, who was at a nearby mobile home with the man's aunt. The aunt told investigators that the woman was drunk and that no one had chased her.
So he called cops thinking that his wife was taken by holograms and she was just drunk at the aunt's house.
That's good stuff. All right. The Florida man inches closer to one-way trip to Mars.
I need to stop Robert for a second and remind everybody that Florida is the state that brought us the bath salt zombie.
Yes, it is.
The ultimate Florida man story. Stripped off all of his clothes, came across a homeless man, and then proceeded to eat his fucking face.
What is it with Florida people taking off their clothes?
I don't. It's hot there. I don't know. It's the only
Like
reason I
this
can
one.
think of.
Like this one, naked Florida man is not entirely sure how he lost his clothes, but might have shat himself.
Wait, how is that ambiguous? How is shitting yourself ambiguous? Either shit, like, how do you not? It's like he might have. Who knows?
I have a couple crazy stories myself. Not as crazy as like getting arrested for being naked in public for shitting yourself, but I did have to ask a about 6'7" transgender woman that she definitely could not take a nap on our table in a gold lame bikini at work, and nothing else. Please get off the table.
You guys have no
Was
idea
she
the gold
compliant?
mine that I found here.
Pretty compliant and pretty drunk.
Florida
Very
man
good.
steals car with dead body inside.
That was
That's some
fun.
bad luck.
Yep, that sounds like Florida.
I feel like that's happened outside of Florida, though.
Elderly Florida man caught masturbating in McDonald's parking lot claims his privacy was invaded. Florida man really, really wants to force a jury to watch his sex tape.
Oh yeah, that guy. Wasn't the case like she was trying to claim something and he went, no, I have a tape. Play it.
Oh
If you just see the way I plow the woman, I'd be free.
This might be the most pure Florida man headline of all time right here. Florida man sets apartment complex on fire after manager told him to stop masturbating in front of the windows.
That's what I'd
That's
do.
what you do.
It's very reasonable.
Oh, that's good stuff. Florida man arrested for smoking pot in hospital maternity ward.
That's a place to do it, as long as you're not by the babies.
Well, I think that being in the maternity ward counts as being by the babies.
Not necessarily. It depends if the baby was in the nursery at the time.
You're still smoking in a hospital.
This is true.
Florida man tattoos Black Widow spider on his face to combat arachnophobia.
No.
I feel like this is going to end with him smacking himself in the face every morning. You gotta find a real classy tattoo parlor to do that for you, too. Super classy. Most of them will be like, nah, we don't do job stoppers.
Okay, I like this one. Florida men attack ice cream man who wouldn't take $20 bill for pickled sausage.
What the fuck is a pickled sausage?
They pulled.
I mean, I know it's
gun on it.
self-explanatory, but who
3
pickles a
men.
fucking sausage?
3 men pulled out a gun. Oh, jeez. These are insane. Dude, people from Florida are fucking insane.
Why did the
Yeah.
vendor not take the 20?
Florida man offers police officer $3 and chicken dinner for sex.
Did you see Florida man offers speed humps for a speed hump?
I've not seen that one.
That one's fun. He's
Well,
gonna put in speed humps in his neighborhood for.
We're already talking about Florida. Do we want to touch on the subject of the shooting that occurred?
Uh,
I
No,
feel like it's a segue, but it's a really uncomfortable fucking segue.
I
It
don't
really
think
is,
it-
but
I
who
don't
fucking
think it-
cares? This is the Cunt stream. Let's talk about shit.
Yeah, the thing I'd kind of like to talk about is I saw some tweets of this guy who was wearing a Trump shirt looking for his daughter while the school shooting was going down, and she was one of the ones who died. And people, because he was wearing a Trump shirt, people on the left fucking were like I feel no sympathy for this asshole. Fuck him, and fuck Trump, and fuck his family.
Is that real?
Yeah.
That's bullshit.
like it's crazy how much they call out Trump and Trump supporters for hate and racism and misogyny. Like the shit that comes out of their mouths is fucking disgusting.
This isn't new. When the sniper in Vegas shot up the country music thing, they were saying
Yeah, I
that
remember.
they made the insinuation that a lot of country music fans, which partially is true, a lot of country music fans are Republican. So there were people saying, I feel no sympathy for the victims because they probably
Yeah.
all voted for Trump.
Even
And
being
so-
on the left.
Like
And that was
my
the bullshit.
politics outrage
I'm
my
angry.
humanity.
I'm fucking angry. Yeah, I'm fucking pissed. You pick politics over people. You fucking suck. Like, I'm pretty
Yeah.
far to the left, and these people fucking suck. They
That's
are
how you know you're a piece of
garbage.
shit. Yeah.
Garbage people. Fuck them.
Don't call them garbage humans. That's our thing. That's
I say
our thing.
garbage people.
Okay.
Garbage
Well,
beans.
Those I
Garbage
like
beans.
garbage people. They keep like the garbage disappearing off the end of my street.
Okay, they're human shit. Is that better?
Yeah.
There,
You
I
are
like
human shit.
Garbage
Shit.
people are useful.
You
Yeah.
are.
Garbage people are useful.
No, yeah, if you're
Garbage
one of those people and
beans.
you manage to stumble your way into this country, I will say as somebody who's on the far left, you are a waste of carbon. Fucking kill yourself.
Well, and that's the thing. It's like the dad who was looking for his daughter. So what? How do you know why he owns the Trump shirt? My husband has T-shirts that his mom just gives him. 2 of them are NRA shirts.
I
Yeah,
have
if
2
you,
church
just
shirts.
owns
I'm an
the-
anti-theist.
I'm gonna back Ren up on this. Like every man that I know who like isn't missing a huge amount of testosterone, but every man that I know has a handful of shirts and has no idea what any of them are
I have a
because,
Kmart shirt.
because we don't care. We
You just
honestly
reminded me
don't
to
give
look
a
at my
shit.
shirt right now.
Like what shirt am I wearing?
Especially if you're just hanging around the house and all of a sudden you get a call that your child's school is getting shot the fuck up.
Yeah, you grab
Exactly.
what's nearby.
No,
You
I
don't
mean,
even-
You get
If
the
I
fuck
was a
out of the
parent,
house.
if I was a parent and that happened, you'd be lucky if I grabbed pants. Just show up half naked.
Exactly. There are parents like it could. You don't know what the situation was.
but
It could have
then
been laundry day.
the thing is, this shooting, it couldn't have been a better platter served to the left as far as who the shooter ended up being, what he was involved with.
All right.
It's a perfect narrative for the left, and it's
It
scary.
is, and it's terrifying. But have any of you seen? And normally I like this guy, but the guy who made Family Guy,
Seth MacFarlane.
Seth MacFarlane's tweets. He's
No.
already going on a tirade now on Twitter about how guns are the issue, and he's quoted as saying, I screen capped it, but I'll show you guys later. It's on my phone, but he screen capped it. I screen capped him saying that if you look at our country compared to other countries that have strict gun laws, they have less school shootings. He's already going on this. The people are already going the direction of the political.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. If you want to get rid of the guns in America, then ship your shit off to San Jacinto, and if you can make it all the way through a single neighborhood confiscating people's guns, then you're good. Then go for it.
Don't
But
try to.
I don't think you're gonna get 3 doors down.
Somebody was
Fucking
saying,
luck.
"Oh, we can start with the blue states." I'm like, "Cool! I have the
Yeah.
perfect place that you can start, and that's Englewood." Good
Yeah.
luck.
Oh God.
Go ahead. Go ahead and
to
start with
Englewood and try to get the guns. Yeah.
Go
that
ahead and
works.
start with the blue states and watch the nation segregate itself.
Yeah, they're
Real
not even
quick.
gonna get out of the blue states because there's a lot of folks in blue states, especially in places like Minnesota and Wisconsin, that are not gonna give it up.
Nope.
Well, here's the problem: blue states aren't always totally blue.
Yeah,
It's
And besides, this is a federal right, and the only way you're going to get rid of it is to amend the Constitution. That's why it's an amendment, because it's the hardest thing in our system of government to get rid of.
yeah. There's a lot of fucking liberals that actually really like their guns.
Yeah, and I
know
don't think
it's-
I
I know
don't
it's
even
been-
think you can make an amendment to the Constitution, like an amendment to the Second Amendment, like an adjustment to the Second Amendment, because
Oh, yeah, you can.
well, it specifically states that the right to own firearms shall not be abridged. You can't make an amendment that would directly contradict that.
It's fucking scary, but if somebody wants to enough, and there's enough push for it. But the thing is, this has been said time and time again. I think it's been misunderstood though when it's been said, and it hasn't been investigated thoroughly. But it really comes down to we have a mental illness issue going on.
Yeah,
yes, we do.
We have, and there was a. I don't know if you guys watch Joe Rogan that much. There was an interesting gentleman on Joe Rogan recently talking about depression and mental illness and how the way we have stratified the work environments and how corporations work with one in command and follow orders, and you feel like you're not contributing so much as just following orders may be leading to a loss of identity and self and belonging, and so these people become isolated mentally and hate the world for it, and then they pick up an AR-15.
Mhm.
And
Well,
it's
and
not
also-
the gun that's doing it. It's something to do with the way and don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to come across as anti-capitalist, but there's a product of capitalism where the stratification of labor, I think it's hurting. I think it's not giving us what psychologically our needs demand.
Well, it's because their answer is
There's an
drug.
interesting discussion.
yeah. It can be very
Yeah,
isolating.
The answer is always to drug up the kids, though, and the problem is those drugs have very serious side effects on children, and they don't look at the obvious of a lot of times talk therapy, as expensive as it is, actually does a better job.
Well, I'll go ahead and I don't care. I'll go ahead and out myself here. First of all, I'm gay for Brockus. That's obvious. But I'm on medication.
Fucking knew it.
I'm I'm on medication of a sort. I have I've had to battle with depression most of my life, and I can say for certainty medication saved my life. But I also know medication is a very fucking nuanced discussion, and you need to approach it with nuance. You need to approach it with it doesn't work for everyone, and I don't just do medication. I love to see my neurologist. I have an incredible neurologist, but I know what you're trying to say, Ren, and they do jump on medication too quickly. A lot of people do not understand the approach you need to have with medication, and there's many medications out there where you won't know if it's helping you until you're on it for about 6 months. Like, this shit's trial and error, and the society is not patient enough for people that need to take that. And also, again, something I think needs to be investigated and done about how we work in society. Like, we need to be able to have corporations that are more willing to let us have a little more control and contribution so that our psychological needs are met. Did that make sense? I don't know. Did that make sense?
Yeah,
Yes.
I caught that. But you guys are all talking about treating the problem after it occurs. I think that we didn't have this problem 60, 70 years ago.
Fair enough. No, I was trying to say like the stratification of jobs. That's a prevention.
No, you're definitely right, and I definitely agree with you that because I have a great job, but I haven't always had a great job. I love my job, but I haven't always. I've had shitty fucking jobs, like jobs where I hated my boss, and the whole 9 yards.
Do you work hard, and is it always gratifying? Because jobs are gonna be tough, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But it feels like, is it a job where you feel like your psychological needs are met?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
See, that's what I feel like. That's what I feel like about 85% of the population isn't getting. Now, most brains seem to be able to fight off the possibly negative symptoms, but then there's people like the shooter in Florida where it gets to them. And
here's that thing. Like, I accidentally cut off my mic when you were talking about, this fell into the left slap earlier.
Oh, my bad.
No, it was cool because I tried to say something and I turned off my own mic. But no, this guy in Florida, he actually if you go through his social media, he's incredibly bizarre. He has pictures where he's dressed up like Antifa. He has pictures where he's dressed in a communist t-shirt. He has a picture where he's wearing a Trump hat. He has, this thing where he went and shot guns with white supremacists. And you're like, this is a dude that all his schoolmates said he didn't fit into any group. Well, yeah, that's why he's an Antifa and a communist and a white supremacist. Like, he's literally bouncing from extreme to extreme to extreme.
He doesn't know. He doesn't know what the fuck he is. He's just bouncing.
He has no fucking clue who he is. He has no idea what he is, and he has nobody in the world to ground him to humanity. Like, nobody cares about this guy, he doesn't, and he stopped caring about everybody else. So, talk about mental illness. I think you talk about work. Work is like a third of your life. That's a huge chunk, but your family is the other 2/3 of your life, and nobody has any families anymore. Families fall apart.
Very few people do.
Well, families are important, but
no. Let's be honest. Today's society, families are a luxury that people like social.
No. I'm agreeing with you. Like, families are important. What I'm saying is, it's very important for you as you grow up to find a group and to blend with a group, and then when you're done blending with that group, it's very important to return to, okay, I need to find an identity in this group. And that's sort of even if you're coming back home to the family every night, the moment you step out that door, then it's that you're interacting with society. Whether you're
trying to find your place in the world.
Yeah.
Small interjection.
Or going to job.
In addition to everything, the Parkland shooter also lost his mother recently. He'd also lost his mother extremely recently.
Oh, the shooter?
Yeah, so he could have very easily.
So you're talking about a guy that just kept dumping down on, and he had nobody else. And I guarantee you that every person that's sitting there saying, "Look, this is the violence of male messiah," whatever, bullshit they're coming up with this one.
Well, the narrative right now is that he was.
Yeah, where were you? Where were you when this guy needed help? Where were you when this guy needed somebody to step up and reach out to him?
Dolphin. I was trying to think. There was a retweet by Tonkasaw from Jeff Holiday, and Jeff Holiday was trying to imply that what Andy Worski and Tonkasaw are doing and who they're platforming, you could say, that look at who you're platforming, because the guy who shot up these people in Florida, he's with the people you're platforming. And it was nasty. It was a really nasty move by Jeff because, to me,
well, I'm sorry, that's kind of like saying.
But also, Dolphin, hold on, just give me a second, Dolphin, please.
All right, go ahead.
I don't think he was in any of these groups. Not really. They were just identities for him to latch onto. I don't even think he really believed in any of these ideologies, because nobody that switches the political spectrums that often and that quickly is stable.
They're just looking for somewhere to belong.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Like he was looking for. It could have been anything he latched onto. Is your point, Thorne?
Pretty much, yeah. Could have been Islam. Could have been white nationalism. Could have been Antifa. Could have been anything.
Yeah. And we have to remember, if he went the Muslim route, because it could have been anything, and I totally agree with you on that, Thorne. If he went the Muslim route,
it could have been uglier.
We would probably have the news poking a little less into his past.
Yeah.
Can we agree on that?
Yeah.
The news would have
Yeah.
brought up the dead mom like in 2 seconds.
Well, if you notice, they kept bringing up the white supremacist thing. You do not have to look for more than, say, 20 seconds to find him in a communist T-shirt and an Antifa gear. I mean, like,
That's what I'm
go
saying.
just hit up his social media. All of it. He hits all the groups. All of
So
them
he was
right there.
Anybody
he was
that
a
changes
Marxist white socialist.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, white nationalist?
He was all over the place. He was
I know, that's
like.
And that's a good
Every
point. They
idea.
got to take that into account. That like,
But
was
they
he?
haven't
did
said
he-
anything about that.
Yeah, did he act the way he did because of this white nationalist group, or can you look at, and Dolphin? That's a great point. Can you look at everything else that he was a part of, and can you look at that and go, oh, this was a guy who was just bipolar as fuck and didn't know what to attach himself to, and was trying to attach himself to anything, lost mommy, and was like, I'm alone in the world. Boom.
No,
boom.
I think Thorne had it like he never really actually got into anything. He just wanted to. He really desperately wanted somebody to like him. And by the time he got out of high school, he realized all the normal groups were out of the question. So he started going.
Kind of sounds more like antisocial personality disorder.
Mm-hmm.
He's basically wearing the trappings of these groups, but he's not really believing in what they are. He's not really part of it. He just wants to feel like he's part of something. And then when he doesn't feel like he's part of that group, he moves on to the next one. And then his mother dies, which is the catalyst for what happened now. That was just a breaking point.
Taking little things from the group. Like, you see him doing the garb and the get up from the Antifa behavior. You see him go out to this white national group specifically to learn how to use guns and to like, I don't know.
Yeah, so that could have been
shooting
the
range.
reason right there. Dolphin and Thorne, I want your opinions on this. Maybe you can change my mind. I kind of have an unpopular opinion about someone in the chat mentioned this. These people do this for like the like the media attention and like so they can like feel like they've achieved something or whatever. Like I've always felt like that is that's got to be a myth to a point, because if you're like listen, if you're a shooter and you commit what he committed, you're going to go into a cop car, you're going to go to jail, you're never going to see the grandstanding on news and media, that you're never going to get that high. So I've never bought that excuse. I've never bought the excuse of they want to like be plastered on media and stuff, because they're never going to fucking see it.
But I know, but they know that other people are going to see it. That's their logic. And I don't think he's that type. There's different types of people who become mass shooters and serial killers, and some of them do it for the fame because they know that people are going to be saying their name long after they're dead.
Yeah, I just
got a $2.
I know what you're saying.
Hold on, guys. We got a $2 super chat from Brockus. Yeah, actually, I'm gonna have you read this one, Zell, since you're
gay for Brockus.
And you got to do it in Sabretooth's voice.
Which Sabretooth?
I have no idea.
That's a good question.
That's
like which
one?
Another
X-Men 1 Sabretooth.
Okay, I'll do it in my best Sabretooth voice. You guys ready? We got Brockus for $2 in Sabretooth's voice. Scream for me. There's my Sabretooth voice.
Now moan.
That was sexy.
That was pretty good, right?
That was
I'm on like a bitch.
Straight up Mike Tyson moment. You expected it so much more,
Oh, fine. I will moan for super chats.
Whoa!
And Zell talked over it.
I got Chubb. No one cares, Thorne.
Can I make a psychological point about the reaction?
No.
No? Okay, fine. No, I'm just wondering. So does anybody else...
Where we all play armchair psychiatrist.
Well, I'm just wondering, does anybody else, like, the left screams so much about guns every single time this happens. Does anybody else find it disconcerting about their complete refusal to acknowledge, like that maybe mental health, that maybe guns aren't the problem, that maybe mental health is a better way to approach this situation, like focusing on better mental health for the country?
No, because when things like this happen, there's an opportunity for their agenda to be achieved, which is to get rid of guns. And so that's what matters at the moment. If this was an opportunity to push more social programs for the mentally ill, they would take that opportunity. But the guns trump it at the moment, so they don't.
Yeah,
give a fuck.
because that's the the
But
agenda
see,
hates
that's my problem. Like the whole lack of empathy, the fact that they would choose that agenda over actually wanting to help people. Because I think if we raise the mental health,
I still have unpopular opinions about
unpopular opinion time for me too.
Yeah, I still have unpopular opinions about mental health. I got into it with a Gluck one time, but like when it comes to the shooter, many people probably don't want to hear this, but when you do what that shooter did, you were a scared fucking person in a scary fucking world. End of story. That is a scared fucking guy. And he's living in a scary fucking world because of his brain state.
Yeah,
I want to fix that. I don't want that to happen to people. I want to fix that.
I'm about to catch a lot of shit for what I'm about to say.
Ooh.
Go for it, Thorne. I'll probably agree with you.
Well, no. The whole thing of folks on the left harping on gun control, aside from the ones that are literally grandstanding on the graves of dead children and cheering their demise, like minus them, the rest of the folks are generally talking about what they think is going to be best to save children's lives, and I can't be that mad at them for it.
Yeah,
the ones that are genuine, sure.
The ones that are genuine, not the ones that are saying, "Lol, the dad is a Trump voter, so I'm glad their kid died." Nah, fuck them.
No, I think they're wrong about take guns away, because I'm like, guns aren't going anywhere, bitch. All you're gonna do is be taking them away from law-abiding citizens.
They need to also accept that the Second Amendment is not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Would you say that applies to Steve Shives, because he just came out with the gun video?
Oh no, I mean fuck Steve Shives in general.
In the right place.
Why Steve Shives? No, let's say.
I'm just wondering if she puts him in the grandstanding category or in the heart is the right place category.
I haven't seen the video.
Let's say before the Florida shooting happened. Let's say that there was already a law against guns, and you couldn't own a gun. Let's say before the Florida shooting happened. You think that kid who tirelessly planned out 17 executions, do you think that kid wouldn't have just been like, "Oh, I'll get one illegally"?
Yeah. Well, here's the best example for that. In Chicago, handguns are illegal.
Not anymore. Oh my goodness.
But they used to be illegal. There were shootings with handguns almost every night.
No, not almost. There were like 3 a night on average, or two a night or something.
Jesus Christ.
In certain areas of Chicago, and handguns were the frequently used weapon.
Yeah, there were 2 homicides a night on average.
Chicago is so bad, even when they had the strictest gun control, it made news when there was one day where no one was killed.
Yeah, that was something to report on.
Granted, people were still shot, they just didn't die.
Yes. So you can talk about if you get rid of guns, this will go away. No, because there will be areas where the black market will provide.
Yeah, and besides, if you don't think Americans are industrious, go look up the word CNC machine or 3D printer.
And not to mention, I would love to see these people go to, we're going to do a giant forced buyback and then go into Texas.
Go to San Start in San Jacinto.
And I was even saying, just start in Chicago and see how well that goes for you.
There are a few things that you could do to cause an actual civil war in the United States. One of them would be to try to take back people's guns.
Yeah. And by the way, let me point out. There's a phrase, a very well-known phrase, and when I say it, every single person who hears it's going to know exactly what it means, and it's guns for show and guns for go. And the fact that phrase exists at all tells you that even if you did confiscate all the guns, you didn't confiscate all the guns.
No, you didn't.
Because there's guns for show and guns for go.
And not to mention when they laugh every time I hear, well, if we did start in the blue states, it'd work perfectly. Minnesota, right. The only blue areas of Minnesota are Rochester, St. Paul, and Minneapolis. You go anywhere outside those cities, it is red as fuck. It has one of the highest NRA memberships in most areas, probably short of Texas.
And Illinois, I guarantee you won't make it out of Cook County.
Illinois, you wouldn't make it out of Inglewood. You'd walk in and you'd be dead.
Yeah, try and talk about blue states. Pennsylvania. You could try and take the Penn State.
Oh, yeah,
Those people
kill
are
you.
insane.
Well, and here's the thing:
Kentucky.
gun buybacks actually frequently have backfired. Like in Chicago, gun buybacks is when a lot of gang members will take guns that they've used to kill people or shoot people, and they'll
get rid of
have the cops destroy them. So the cops are actually paying the gang members money to destroy evidence.
Yeah. Because they can't. It's all anonymous. They can't do anything about it.
They can't do anything about it. So
also, they get a lot of useless guns, like ones that, like, oh yeah, Grandpa died, and we've had this thing in a box, and it doesn't even fucking work anymore.
Yeah, they've destroyed like actual antique guns, and it's like anytime you see it, it's like that just hurts.
I love the super leftist perspective of like corporations are bad and guns shouldn't be in the hands of citizens, and it's like, okay, what's the solution? The solution is to arm and give all money to the greediest, nastiest corporation of all, the government, which has a monopoly on force.
Which they then expect for them to redistribute that money. That's
the point.
People.
That's the
like
point.
Once the government has the money, they are not going to give it back to you.
Yeah. So once your guns are, here's the thing: as gun owning, having the Second Amendment in place, basically made the Japanese military of the Second World War. And if you think it like at hardcore militaries, that's in the top. That's right there in the top, like 3 at least. It made them realize the United States was uninvadable. And they're quoted as saying, you'll find the barrel of a gun pointed at you from behind every blade of grass. We're uninvadable because of the Second Nation. Even if our entire military was wiped out, we would still be the United States and nobody could really take us over because you literally have to fight door to door across the entire continent.
Yeah, like if Mexico, think about it, there's a reason Mexico decided not to attack because they're like, oh wait, we have to go through Texas.
Yeah, that's not happening. Yeah, Mexico still has like bad memories of the last time they tried to do that.
Yeah,
there are Texans that are just fucking waiting for Mexico to move.
See, because Texas had this bad habit of leaving little groups of people.
Pendant like it's their evil cat, and they're just waiting on Mexico to make their move.
Remember last time you crossed?
I love how they're like, we want to take your guns. Okay, did you build a wall yet? No, then fuck off. We need these. Are you fucking kidding me?
No, there'd be Though I would laugh if any country's like, we're gonna invade the U.S. How are we gonna get there? Texas? Oh.
We may want to rethink this.
Yeah, let's listen. Can we go through Canada?
I'm not exactly cool with a full frontal on Texas.
Invade through California. Everyone will just be like, oh, we don't want to be rude.
Here's what you do. You go in blackface and they'll never know. They'll be like, oh, we need to get out of your way.
Yeah, go through California.
Super progressive.
Just avoid any of the states.
I so badly don't want to talk anymore.
Or you know what? Just dress up as women. Have your men dress up as women. Your women dress up as men. Invade California that way, and they'll have to get out of your way. Otherwise, they're bad people and transphobic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so woke.
So woke. Beautiful. Dead air.
Dead air.
No,
dead air.
Hold on a second, Zell. I meant to say something to you because you asked me something about if I think they wanted fame, and I was curious. How old are you? Were you around during Columbine?
Yeah, I was actually. I have good memories of Columbine. I was in the car with my mother, and it was over the radio that I heard it as it was happening.
See, I was in high school when it happened.
I was in, I believe I was in grade school or middle school.
Okay. See, I was in my next to last year of high school. I was a junior. So up until Columbine happened, at any school, like at least all the schools I ever went to, and I went to a couple, you could go in or out of pretty much any exit in the school. You could wear a backpack. People sagged their jeans. People didn't tuck in their shirts. People joked around. That ran through the halls. It was kind of a relaxed, laid-back attitude. There wasn't. I never saw a metal detector.
Yeah, and then I've
And then-
gone back to some of my old schools when I had visited them fairly recently, like a few years ago.
Mine is
Like
in
my old
Middleton.
my old grade school and my old high school and stuff like that. And now it looks like a fucking prison.
Yeah, it
look
looks
like
like an armored
prisons.
compound.
Yeah. And I
Mine,
just don't remember that when I was young.
And
My-
I
my
remember
high
the
school-
transition.
my high school didn't, but my mom said that like they've like installed metal detectors now, and there's basically only one there's only one entrance to the public, and all the other doors like are locked from the outside immediately.
We
Yeah.
legitimately, actually, at one of my high schools, because I switched high schools like 2 times. We moved a lot, but at one of my high schools, we legitimately had a race war. The blacks were going after the Mexicans, and we had to have a complete lockdown on the campus. So all doors and everything was sealed, and it was just chaos. It only happened once, but it was fucking crazy.
That's
Um,
nuts.
My high school didn't have metal detectors, but I think they started putting them at the main entrances. Though they still allow people to go on and off campus through other entrances and exits. So,
Do you think we are, Ren? Do you think we are far off from public schools just straight up adopting, very much like the Japanese, the what do you call it, the uniforms and things like that, like to homogenize sort of, and like that in that way to be able to I guess maintain more security. Do you think we're far off from that?
I don't think we're certain states. I'm sure we're not far off. Chicago, there's some inner city schools that want to put in dress
Yeah.
codes.
They want
And
a dress
uniforms.
code because they have a gang problem, and if everybody's wearing the same color, you can't have gang colors now, can you?
Yeah.
But I don't see a lot of other places doing that for public schools because it depends on the area and what problems they're having in that area.
It's really
So
sad when you learn about elementary schools that are having problems with gang colors.
Well, with elementary schools like in Chicago, it's not necessarily even, yes, some of the students maybe, but a lot of times it's just the neighborhood itself. They want to protect the kids because if, say, Timmy has a favorite t-shirt and it happens to be red and you're in a bad neighborhood to be wearing a red t-shirt, they want to protect that kid from basically being singled out because of the shirt he's wearing.
Yeah, but
So
singled out by who? The other elementary school students? Like I'm with Thorn on this.
other gang members that would
What, in
see
the elementary
No, like
school?
adult fucking gang members.
other
Oh,
adult
okay.
other adult gang members, there's certain colors, and if you're in certain neighborhoods, and I used to have to do with my mom, helping homeless shelters and feed homeless people. We'd get a talk about certain color T-shirts, certain symbols you couldn't wear, certain bandanas were like a no-go. You couldn't wear them at all. And there were rules as to what you could and couldn't wear, and it was for your own safety.
Yeah, from
Because-
what I
Yeah.
understand, these people are crazy. They'll fuck with anybody wearing like
Yep.
an old lady with a
You could be
fucking
seven.
with a wrong color purse.
Yeah.
Like a 75-year-old lady with the wrong color purse would get jacked up because she brought the wrong colors into the wrong neighborhood.
I've been not thinking. I went into a certain area to visit some of my husband's friends, and I was wearing a red and black shirt, and I'm Hispanic, and he's like, "You should keep your jacket on."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Why?
Gang
Wrong
code.
color, wrong neighborhood."
This is where wearing all black helps. You're completely neutral.
Goths don't have this problem.
Yeah,
Goths
don't
have
forget the
this
trench
problem.
coat and the fedora.
Goths don't have this problem because if you're wearing all black with no symbols on you, you're good.
Or if you like blatantly look like a goth, they probably won't fuck with you.
Well, if you blatantly look like a goth, even if you have skull and crossbones on you, they look at you and go, "Oh, goth kid." Okay.
Yeah, red and black, for those who don't know, is Latin Kings.
Latin kings are vicious.
No
And
idea.
also,
Don't
not
care.
a great area because that was a crypt area. I could have gotten killed. They won't really ask any questions. They'll just kill you.
No, they won't.
That's funny. I wish they would do a segment on how many like inner Chicago city school violence. You know, every time there's a school shooting, if there's guns, of course.
It's-
Chicago. It's on the. It's a blurb on the news now.
Yeah.
5 people got shot in this neighborhood. Everyone's going, yeah, it makes sense.
It's a day ending in Y.
It didn't happen in a school.
Yeah. There was one that happened in a schoolyard around Thanksgiving, though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No one died, but most of the perpetrators were under the age of 16.
Did you hear? And I hate to call it out because it just frustrates me. I'm not mad at them, but some of the students who were taking interviews, you could hear them start to say something, and then you'd see this look on their face, and they'd stop and they'd say, "Of course, we're a really inclusive neighbor," and it was just like, Jesus Christ. The guy's like brainwashed. He's afraid to just be honest. Like he has to stop and rewind.
What do you mean? I don't know. Clarify that.
I don't know. There was this kid getting interviewed on the news, and I think he was a student journalist or something.
Yeah.
So he's really watching his P's and Q's. He was very articulate and he was very good at doing like presenting. They picked a really great guy for it, but he got halfway through a sentence and he stopped, and you saw this look on his face like, "Oh crap, I forgot the virtue signal," and he kind of rewinded and he said, because we're a very inclusive community. We like everybody no matter what, but this guy just didn't fit into any group, and it was like, oh yeah, okay. And I'm not mad. Like I said, I'm not even mad at him. It just frustrates me that our society has conditioned human beings to behave in that manner.
Yeah, when were we not allowed to just call crazy assholes crazy assholes?
Yeah.
It's like, dude, this dude was like, nobody liked this guy. He was freaking like, he was weird. He kept to himself. They're like, that's why people don't like people.
Exactly. Call it what it is.
Like, even if they're weird, if they're friendly and fucking polite, then they usually get along with people. You know what I mean? It's when you have no friends is when you're a fucking asshole and you can't get along with everybody.
Here's a general rule. If you think everybody around you is an asshole universally, it might be that you're an asshole.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Also, I think it's interesting how sorry.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
I was saying there was a Chicago Police Department task force that for a while, I don't know if they're still doing this, but they were actually dealing with the gangs in a different. They tried a different way of doing shit, not just treating them like common criminals, but actually treating them like warring factions in an actual war and sitting down and having them do peace treaties. It worked for a bit.
Yeah.
It was actually probably more successful than most of the shit they've tried.
See, I don't even understand why they would like. What are they gangs over? Is it just territory? Is it
territory?
Place for?
Drugs.
See, then why would the police get involved? Why not just be like, okay, so you can sell drugs on this corner and you can sell drugs on that? Are the police really sitting down like?
Because people get caught in the crossfire that have nothing the fuck to do with it.
So the cops are actually legitimately going, okay, Bo, this is your drug territory. This is your drug territory. If we catch you, we're arresting you. You don't have anything on you.
If they all stay in their own, if it's not ideal, but if they stay in their own territory, at least they're not shooting at each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not illegal to be in a gang. It's only illegal like after you commit a crime, after the fact. So these people can organize as long as they don't get caught. There is nothing the police can do.
Like it's not a perfect thing, but at least there weren't innocent people getting caught in the middle of drive-bys.
Yeah,
I think it's good that gang members are talking to police and they're trying to work something out, because gang members don't want to get fucking hassled by the police over every goddamn little thing they do, and the police don't want to be picking up fucking dead bodies over every fucking wrong color that goes in their neighborhood and shit like that.
Yeah.
I am, when some fuck, man. That's all. Normally, I'm yes for all. Like if they break the law, fuck them. But there's nuance in this. When you're dealing with a gang, and it's not illegal to be in a fucking gang, to hang out with people. To hang out with certain people. Then.
And also in Chicago, it's an issue. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying you can't because you can't regulate who people can hang out with. And I totally disagree that we should make laws saying that we can. Then gangs are allowed to exist. They're not illegal. We have
freedom of association.
Yes, and so catch them doing illegal shit. Fucking by all means, yes, throw them in jail. But also, yes, talk with them and work with them on a deeper level, saying, okay, let's fucking organize this shit better, so less people get caught in the crossfire.
Yeah,
Pretty
and also
much.
the big issue with Chicago is how dense the city is and how close certain neighborhoods are. So you could have a neighborhood that's Latin King territory, but then you could have next to a crypt, right next to X, Y, and Z. So it gets to the point where their territories are so close to each other that you have to do something, otherwise you have all-out war in those certain areas.
And sorry, go ahead. I apologize.
There's a reason that there's certain areas of Chicago that are not jokingly referred to as Chirac.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that movie was based off of it, right? There's a movie based on it.
And let's not forget that if the police are talking with like the gang leadership, then the police are gaining valuable information as well. They are finding out where the territory boundaries are, who's in charge, like what they're.
You don't feel that they already do that?
No, absolutely.
Even better,
they can do it better if they're talking to the gangs. You know what I mean?
They actually will sometimes.
But the gangs make it tough, man.
Yeah,
and
sometimes
the police make it tough.
You don't
the
talk
police
with
make
a
it tough
cop.
too.
Yeah, sometimes they'll actually get, since the gangs are, they're still up against each other. One rival gang will give the police information to help them bust the other gang.
And then that gang member is dead. You don't fucking talk to cop.
Not unless you're talking about the
you could.
competition.
Yeah, you're talking about the competition. That's fine.
If it's the competition, then it's a different story.
You don't give shit to a cop. I mean, that's just my experience with gang members.
Well, that's again, there's different rules. If it's amongst your own gang members, yeah, you don't talk shit. But if it's like, oh well, so and so's outselling us, and you tell the cops about that other gang, well, then you're not really breaking the code of silence because you're protecting your own group while throwing the other one under the bus.
It's like the legal brothels turning over human traffickers. It's taking out the competition.
I would totally disagree with you. Politics are politics, and I don't know. In my I've had a few years of experience with gang members. It's you don't do that.
Yeah.
Well, here's what I'm trying to say. If say the police
you're
want to meet up with the local
gang
gang members. Say the police meet up with the gang members so they can be like, okay, we don't want to get in your fucking business. Let's just work out territory that everybody can agree on.
Okay, you do that, and then the response you get is "fuck off, cop."
Well, isn't that what this conversation started with? That gang members were actually doing this?
Yeah, this is an actual thing that's happened in Chicago.
Yeah.
I apologize. I was mesmerized by Brockus's eyes for a moment. So.
Right.
Yeah. This is an actual thing. This is an actual thing that the Chicago PD tried, and it worked for a while. There was like a ceasefire in one neighborhood for I think about 3 months before it broke up again.
Like Snoop do a whole campaign where he was like bringing gang members to talk to the cops and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I still don't think it's a solution.
Well,
no, it's a temporary fix. But
I think it's a
temporary fix. But here's my point. So they talk to the cops and they say, okay, like we have a territory dispute. They solve the territory dispute. Then after that, if somebody breaks the territory, then not only are they kind of breaking it against the other gang, they kind of have that deal arranged with the cops as well. So they're fucking like that. If the cops are backing off a little bit because everybody's being chill, then the people that break that are breaking it with the cops as well. And I'm just saying that they could be looking at the cops as like another organization that they're dealing with.
Sure, I think it's an anomalous situation, and I think the scenario you're building is one of dreams and puffy clouds. It's just a topic of conversation.
Yeah. I pretty much agree with that.
And John Doe said that gangs will encroach on other gangs' territory.
Yeah.
Why it's not a permanent solution.
Hey guys, I'm gonna go ahead and call it a night. And on the note of the shooter, just if any of you guys out there that ever hear this feel like you might do that, and then commit suicide afterwards or something like that, just do it in reverse.
Yeah, and
Do it
can
reverse.
I throw a message out there, Dolphin,
Yeah, go for it.
for the audience? You know, I don't know about you guys. I'm sure there's plenty of streamers that I've co-hosted with that also know what depression is like. You know, I'm one of those guys where if you're really down, if you need to say something, I got a lot of resources and experience. Hit me up on Twitter, man. Like, you know, I don't care. I'll fucking talk to you.
Right on.
Just,
People are getting agitated in the chat about us. Let me make something clear. If you're in a gang, you probably have a real shitty life, real shitty education, and most gang members are fucking. No, I'm just saying most gang members are fucking. They're
You just killed
criminals.
half our audience.
You think
I'm
we're
sorry,
gonna pat them on the back? We're the
No,
Cunt
no,
stream.
we're not gonna. No, I'm not patting it. I'm not making. No. What I said, they're fucking criminals, and they.
Yeah.
That,
No, yeah, they're still scum of the earth.
Yeah,
Anyway,
they're scum of the
good
fucking
night,
earth.
guys. Good night.
They
I'll see you later.
Good night.
They are the scum of the fucking earth, and I do not discount that in any way. But if we have gang members that are willing to talk to the police and work with something, I'm all for
Maybe
that.
there's some hope for you.
What's the problem with
Maybe.
that?
Maybe there's some hope for you. Maybe if you end up in jail, you can be one of those dudes that like does intervention with kids or some shit like that. Maybe there's some hope.
Stand kids, dude. They're little fucking assholes.
No, but you know, like the ones where they do the scared straight thing,
Yeah.
that kind of shit.
Yeah.
It's like you want to end up like me, little shit.
Yeah, right.
Well, to be
It is good and comforting to talk to people that have been there. You know, I got the totally awesome PTSD thing going on, and it's tough. But I don't want people doing rash decisions. And before someone gets too scared and does something stupid, you know, me or anybody else in this stream, I'm sure, like, and I'll throw some numbers your way. I don't know. This is kind of turning preachy, but I hope you get what I'm saying.
You get what you're saying, dude. And
Like I got Brockus to keep me sane. That guy makes me laugh and touches my pickle.
Yeah, I agree with I Am Cancer. Fuck the drug war. That war on drugs is failure. Complete fucking failure.
Yeah.
That'll help.
Yeah, I'll agree.
Get rid of that.
I just watched Kingsman 2. That shit was
God. Oh, they
I
ruined
hadn't
it.
seen it. I know. I hadn't seen it before. They totally ruined the Kingsman.
Brockus and I saw that in theaters. And
I was
by the
like,
time-
it's like
by
now
the
the
time,
U.S. is funding them. They're totally destroyed, and now they're just like
I
by
was
the time-
they're riding
by the
off
time,
fucking Uncle Sam's dick.
I
What
was
was his
looking
name?
forward to that movie, and it's just
What-
so bad.
It was bad. What was his name? Elton John. By the time Elton John was doing a fly sidekick and looking right into the camera, I was done.
Yeah.
Wait, what did you just describe?
Elton John does some ninja karate.
And looks
shit
right
in
into
the
the
movie.
camera while he's doing it in slow-mo.
Yeah, and does a little like eye twinkle, like a ding.
There's
like a whole-
80% of the movie's jokes are, look, Elton John can curse.
Yeah.
We already know Elton John can curse. Have you heard that man when he gets interviewed?
Yeah, he's screaming like "fuck
I
you!"
love
bitch,"
Elton. I
and this
love
fucking
Elton
just-
John. I love
that's-
Elton John.
that's most of his lines.
It was clear to me that Matthew Vaughn, the director, was a fan of Elton John. I have no issue with that. But the whole movie, like the first movie, felt like a competent parody while also being like social commentary. This
Mhm.
movie felt like a parody that desired to be a spoof and make fun of the entire thing they established.
And that looked good with the whip thing with Channing Tatum too. It's really sad.
Oh, and then Channing
He is
Tatum goes into
yummy.
a coma for 80% of the movie.
yeah, and we get
He's so
stuck
yummy though.
with the fucking bullshit laser whip, dude.
Channing Tatum is hot. I would let him rate me.
Yeah, I wouldn't. kick him out
Channing
of that
Tatum's
part.
the only reason I watch Magic Mike.
I have not
Yeah,
seen those
no.
movies, but I've actually
Not
heard they're
either.
decent.
As he watched Magic Mike, he was like, "Wait, there was a plot." I wasn't paying attention.
It's like,
Wait, so you're
Abs.
confirming there was
Yeah,
a plot
dude,
to those
with abs.
movies?
Yes, there was, but I wasn't paying attention.
just-
There was a plot in Magic Mike.
I was looking at abs.
Did you do the same thing I did, Thorne, and just fast forward through all the plot stuff?
Was
No,
that
I
the
was
plot?
thinking that,
Forward.
ma'am.
Ding.
Was the plot abs?
I don't
I
know.
don't know.
That's what I thought the plot was.
He might
But
be a
that's the-
stripper.
That's the only part I watched. Is I only watched the stripper parts.
Yeah, me too.
That's okay. That's how I went through Showgirls.
Dude, Channing Tatum.
Fair enough. That's a terrible movie.
Channing Tatum's got.
Is it?
Dude.
I don't know. I never noticed there was a plot.
No, it's really bad. I've actually watched the entirety of Showgirls. Like, it's really bad.
I'm kidding.
Oh,
yeah,
that movie is so fun.
It's so bad. It's good.
It just blew my mind. Like, because I was still when that movie came out, it was all about Saved by the Bell. It blew my fucking mind. I was like, holy fuck! What did Jesse Spano do?
I watched it much later. My synopsis of Showgirls is what the fuck is
so excited.
my synopsis of Showgirls is what the fuck is titties. That's Showgirls.
Oh, that's like my Magic Mike. Oh, it's what the fuck is abs?
Take the shirt off, Channing Tatum. Take your shirt off.
What? Ren Igor's abs don't do it for you? They're not enough.
Who?
Okay, Igor's my husband. Igor is my fluffy teddy bear.
He has a dad bod.
Yes, which is very comfy and great because he's my heater at night.
There's a
Yeah,
lot
so
of
does
girls,
Mr. Midnight.
There's a lot of girls that really enjoy the dad bod.
I like
Yes.
the dad bod. Like I like looking at the shizzle bod, but I love the dad bod to cuddles.
Exactly. The dad bod's
Best
perfect.
cuddles.
The dad bod's perfect forever because you can cuddle next to it. It's your heater. It's great. It
Oh
doesn't
Jesus, I gotta.
It
You know
doesn't
what
mean
I
you
like-
don't like looking at the abs, though.
When I
Right.
have kids, I don't know why, but I only want daughters. And I swear to God, if I have a son, I'm pitching him into a dumpster. I don't know why, but I just want daughters.
I'll take him. I want a boy.
You
I
want
was
a boy?
a bitch.
Boys are easier.
Boys are easier.
See, I think for girls, there's a really special connection. Like, you know, the whole mama's boy thing. I think there's a really special connection between mothers and sons. And I think vice versa. There's a really special connection between fathers and daughters.
Yes, it's because daughters know how to make daddy hand over the wallet.
Not that, but if you notice, it's a joke and sort of a meme, but it's kind of, there's some truth to it. Is that the more whorish a girl is, the more likely she's got daddy issues, like daddy wasn't there, or
No, that's
like
an
that.
actual thing that's been studied.
Really?
Yeah, it is. Same thing goes for sons who never had mothers.
Ditto. Yeah.
What goes wrong with the sons when they have mom problems?
How they treat women. It's one of those things of it's the only verifiable time that men who have sometimes treat women like shit, they have mommy issues.
I think they've just never seen they don't have that much experience of a working adult relationship.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why it's so important, is because maybe that connection is so important, like the opposite sex, like the father with the daughter, the mom with the son. Maybe it's so important because it teaches them about their future possible relationships they're going to have with that sex.
Yeah. There's also a difference between single mom with son and single mom with daughter.
Explain. What do you mean?
There ends up being a difference. Single mom, if you look at just those type of relationships, the sons tend to do better than the daughters overall. Because I don't know what it is about women being together.
Yeah, and I've noticed single fathers that only have daughters or just one daughter. Those girls usually grow up to I've had a few friends like that. They grow up to be pretty damn strong women.
It's because, and I can explain, it's very easy. Single moms with sons, they grow to respect their mom because their mom's there. Their mom's being the stable one in their life. The mom's the one working to take care of them. So they grow to have this respect. Same goes for women. Same goes for single dads who raise daughters. They see how hard that parent works, and they get that strong work ethic because that's and they
also learn, and I find that fathers like to instill, for the most part, good fathers like to instill in daughters, how important and precious your anatomy is. Like
Yes.
guys, like it's an overdone meme, and it gets teased a lot. But I think there's some truth to it. Is guys' dicks are like keys, and women's vaginas are like treasure chests. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
And that's
I
just
know is
real-
that if I had a
skeleton-
kid, I
a
know
skeleton-
better. Like, sorry, being bi, I know better. Everybody's like, oh, if it's two guys, they can shut the. No, door stays open. I don't care who's in the room. But we're both guys. Don't care. Door stays open.
Well, and that's the thing.
You might be
But
gay
no,
and
like,
hiding it. That
I'm
door's
not-
staying open.
I'm not saying like any girl who sleeps around, that's terrible. Like no, what I'm saying is like that no matter what you do with your body, if you come at sex in life, if you come at it from a perspective of I really do respect my, for lack of a better term, my vagina, I really do respect it, like then there's a healthier woman there. And usually I find that that's because they have a father in their life, as opposed to a woman who she doesn't even have to sleep around that much, but doesn't have any respect for her genitals.
Well, and that's the
And
thing.
the father's usually not there.
Yeah. The funny thing is, actually the best
I'm
predictor.
sorry, I'm grouping a know. I understand.
Yes,
I'm
you
sorry.
know. No,
We're just talking about tendencies and trends. No, it's not a
Tendencies and
hard,
trends.
fast rule.
It's not hard fast rule, dude.
The bitching witch brought up another example. There's also men that treat girls like trash because mommy spoiled them, and they expect it from every woman.
Yeah.
That is a very good point, because a mother can fail them too.
Exactly.
Just like a father can fail a daughter.
Yeah, every parent can fail.
That's why
Both
the best.
parents can fail.
That's why the
There's-
best predictor is usually a healthy, stable. The best predictor for a kid to do well in life is usually if they had a healthy, stable family unit that includes mom and dad. Because if they can see a healthy relationship between mom and dad, they'll want to replicate that in their own life.
Would you agree with me, Rin, that like I totally agree with what you said, that could even be achieved? And here's what bothers me too, is like I hate when certain families, they act like when the parents get a divorce, they have to treat it like everything is destroyed. And I've seen certain families from friends where their parents divorced, but they still maintained exactly what you explained, Rin, because it's possible. The divorce is not what destroys a kid. It's
the way that parents act after.
Yeah, it's how the parents treat the divorce. And if the parents still go, it's all about the kids and we love you no matter what, I still find with certain friends that have divorced parents, the parents are still so awesome about the situation that the kid's fine.
Well, it's because sometimes it's not hard and fast of you have to stay together for your kids to be healthy. Because there are kids who come from where their parents are still together, but their parents really shouldn't be. And so sometimes when those relationships go to, we're going to divorce and be separate but raise the kids equally, those kids to end up being healthier than if the parents had stayed together, because then they see healthy dynamics between the two.
Yeah,
and realize
then they get it.
When it's a bad relationship, it's a bad relationship.
Yeah, because then they get a good example of like, oh, even when life goes bad and people break apart, which happens in life, look at how they handled it, and you can still maintain a healthy kid.
Yeah.
All right. Can I be that asshole and bring up a thing in the side chat?
Go be the asshole.
Go for it.
I'm gonna go with and same-sex couples, mostly because in vitro and adoption are expensive, so that's usually the mark of a couple that has a lot of extra money to spend on said kid for shit like tutors and private school and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
That I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Apparently, Thorn, your volume's too high.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
is this better? I'm sorry.
I don't know. It sounds fine to me.
It sounds fine to me, but it could be loud for the chat. We do have a lot of headphone wearers, so
yeah.
My bad.
Sorry. But it can be said about same-sex couples. I mean, the reality is kids really need just a stable home life, whether that be mom and dad separate, mom and dad together, or single parents.
Yeah.
My husband comes from a single-parent household. He was raised by his mom on his own. Sometimes that works as long as everyone acts like adults and those kids still have that stable base to come back to, that they know, well, the world can go to shit, but I still have my family.
There's a reason perpetual foster kids usually end up messed up.
Oh, they're bad. That's bad. Like I haven't studied myself enough about what is it about like same-sex marriages, families and stuff like that. Like, I don't know. Like, I want to get your guys' opinion on it because I don't know if I have an opinion on like. I know there's a lot of controversy with some people saying that deep down it's just psychologically not going to work for the
It
kids.
can.
Like Ren said, any stable home is going to be
It's got to be
better.
stable. What kids
like we talked about though. What if we have two women who marry and they adopt or in vitro or whatever two let's say two daughters, and we just spoke about how a father can be so important to a daughter, and you have a fatherless home and not one woman but two moms. Can there be an issue there, or is it
No.
simply just about setting a good example still?
Not
It's
so much,
still-
especially considering that there's always one woman that takes a masculine role.
And
Fair enough.
It's setting
Yeah.
a good example.
It's
That's where community comes into play, because it's not always hard and fast with like it has to be a dad.
Yeah.
It could always be an uncle, a grandfather, a cousin, a great uncle, whatever.
A family friend, anything.
A family friend. As long as as long as they see a stable home life, a loving family, and maybe yes, a male role model of the family that could teach them, how they should be treated.
For the sake of the thought experiment, I'm saying like there's no male role models, but I'm agreeing with you that like the more I think about it, because I like to be really honest with myself and kind of criticize my own opinions. The more I think about it, it does come down to just be a good example, right? Like almost no matter who's raising them. I want to say almost, because I still think there's a danger with a single father and a son, and a single mother and a daughter. There could be some danger there, but I think still at the end of the day, you set a great example. They should be okay.
Yeah, everything should be cool. And it's, again, like I don't know if there's been a study about it, but I would imagine that kids that have a close-knit extended family probably would do a little better than kids that don't too.
Yeah,
when it's
I think there has been studies, and the crazy evangelical Christians on the right have tried to like poke holes in the studies, but I'm pretty sure the studies show there's not much of an issue with the same-sex marriage couples.
No. Most of the studies show that there's little to no difference, and some studies actually show that some of the kids do better. Again, I think that comes down to disposable income.
Because it can teach them about a facet of life that really doesn't get explored much, and they'll be prepared for it because they'll be like, oh, vaginas can love vaginas.
Well, it's
and they'll
also
understand that before other kids will.
They're also a little bit more open-minded than most. They can tend to be towards.
Let's not sniff our farts too much. But
I know, but
it's also the fact that where a lot of these kids are coming from. Sometimes with a lot of same-sex couples who adopt, they'll adopt out of foster care. So those kids will frequently thrive and do better than like most kids who are with their biological parents, because they went through hell and then suddenly they have that stability and that normalcy.
Oh, you're talking about foster kids going to a family?
There's also
I know. No, they'd be better with no parents.
That's when you can kind of lose me, because again, like I've had a lot of experience with what I'd call, I guess, unfortunates in life.
Mm-hmm.
Because of things that I have gone through, and I don't know, man. Like every single foster kid I've ever met, and again, I don't like to make claims. I don't know much of anything. I'm a stupid guy. I try my best, but every foster kid I've ever run into and had discussions with, it's broken my heart, because I've always looked at them and been like, "You're fucking doomed. I don't know how to fix you. They're fucking doomed." Like they have such a nasty, sad approach.
They're so broken.
Perspective on life. Yeah. And
I'm talking about the foster kids who are adopted out. Like there is a trend with some things.
It depends on the age. That's why I'm bringing this up, because I would sort of disagree with you if you said, like, for example, anything beyond 5 years old. I would probably have issue with that and say, like, I don't know, maybe our understanding of neurology would imply that they're pretty much fucked. I don't know. Like it's dark. It's really dark. The foster kids I've met.
Some people are just broken.
Some people are broken, but it's
I
case by
hate to
case.
say that.
There's if you've ever seen the show World's Strictest Parents, there's
No.
there's an episode where they have one of the first gay couples in it's like New Jersey who fought for the right to adopt kids because they were foster parents.
Yeah.
And the kids that they adopted actually were doing better because there were strict rules. It was a loving household.
Mhm.
But on top of that, there was structure. There was expectations of them. Yes,
Yeah.
there was obviously therapy when needed. Or therapy.
No, I want them to be okay. I'm just saying every interaction I've had with a foster kid or an orphan, it's been the most heartbreaking experience, and I've always left them just going, I don't know if you're going to be okay.
Yeah,
You know, I don't know how to fix that.
Yeah, I have a couple of friends that grew up in foster care for at least part of their childhood, and one for almost her entire childhood. Her mom did not get her back until she was 16, and she was like put in foster care when she was 2, and every time somebody tried to adopt her, her mom got in the way of it. And she is completely screwed up.
That's fucked up.
Oh, that's
See,
so
like, it's
twisted.
like, I don't know. I run into situations like that or scenarios, and they really affect me. And I just go, I put my hands up and go, what the fuck do we do for that? Like, because I don't want someone to hurt like that.
Well, I think the foster care system in and of itself needs reforming because everyone thinks to adopt like, the younger kids. But yes, the older kids may be may have problems at first, but the older kids, they almost are more grateful if they can finally get a home.
Yeah,
And
if
so,
you could take time.
if you could take the time to actually care, but to give two shits about them, they're actually even more grateful because they actually finally have what they want.
Like you said, though, it's case by case. But what I would say is, because what I'm trying to say is there's certain scenarios like the same-sex couples and their families where I don't know if I can make a claim about how the majority of them would turn out. But when it comes to foster kids, I'm not convinced. I still feel like I can make a claim that the majority of them, you're going to find very broken people that hate the world, and you're not going to turn them around, has been my experience.
Yeah,
and it's just heartbreaking.
It's heartbreaking, but I almost want to say, yes, there's some that are just broken beyond repair. But there are some that are broken that there's still a chance you could make a difference in their life. And you never know unless you try with them.
But I'm saying there's enough that are broken to where there's patterns and it's predictable. And I would say, like, I wouldn't even say some. I would just keep saying majority, easily majority. I could be convinced I could be wrong. It's just Jesus, why are we talking about it? It's so fucking sad.
I know, we're on sad.
There's an argument about pedophilia in the LGBT community in the chat. That's nice.
We're just gonna ignore that chat.
What?
Yeah. We're not gonna go into that because that's let's not go into that topic.
There's what?
It's an old stereotype. Disclaimer.
There is an issue with this in the gay community.
Yes, but it's a very small minority. It's a
I
very
would say
small minority.
gay people would condemn pedos just like the rest of everybody.
Yes.
I would say yes, it's a small minority, but that minority is a bigger chunk than the minority you'd find, I think, in straight people.
I don't know about that. I think
that's been my experience, and I don't know.
Here's the thing: they have a minority, but it's a fucking vocal one. They don't shut up.
Yeah.
No, I just I take what gay people say. I take it sort of literally. I try and believe them, and I don't know, my experience with gay friends and listening to certain gay streamers, it's pretty common for younger guys to be, I guess, inducted into the gay world by older guys. It's a thing.
It's a thing, but then you're running into issues of what is pedophilia and what is something consensual. Because if you're talking...
All right, Amos, calm down.
There is a trend where maybe sometimes like an 18-year-old who comes out as gay might be inducted into the community by an older guy. But that's
is
a
there
whole-
not an entire genre of porn that's like male teacher, female student?
Yes.
Yeah, but would you be comfortable with that if it was a 15-year-old girl inducted
No,
into
no
the
one's
world of
comfortable with
sex
it.
by an older man?
Yeah.
No one's comfortable with that, but that's its own thing, and that's also, again, a vocal minority that unfortunately for years did kind of color the stereotype of the gay community in a bad light.
Okay, fair enough. What like
Pedophilia
like, I
covers
get- I
anything
get-
it touches in a bad light.
I get what you're
Yeah,
saying.
yeah.
Rin. No, I get what you're saying, Rin. I would
Mhm.
say like we probably differ because I think what you're trying to say is it's not that big an issue in the gay community, and I think it is.
It's a big issue.
But I
no
could
matter
be
where
convinced the other
No,
way.
I'm
but
not
I
saying
think
that.
it
When
is.
did it stop being a huge issue anywhere?
It's a big issue wherever it pops up.
Well,
I just
it
think
is
the
a
danger
okay,
of
yeah.
saying
It is a
that
big
it's a
issue where
Drax
it
is
pops
right.
up.
Drax
It
is
a big
right.
issue. It is a big issue where it pops up. No, no discussion there. Absolutely, it's sick and disgusting wherever it happens. What I'm saying is, I think it is a little more prevalent, and I think it's a little more wrongly accepted in the gay community. I do think so, from my experience with gay friends, and yeah, I don't know. I could be convinced the other way, but that's just how I see it.
I just, yeah, okay, apparently we have to start wrapping up now, which is probably a good thing before we get too deep.
Yeah.
It was a good discussion,
fuck.
though. I like it. I like to find out if I'm wrong on shit and whatever. I try not to.
Yeah, after spending more time on like Twitter and YouTube, I suspect there's a lot more pedos out there than I originally.
Isn't it crazy how
out
many
there.
pedos are
It's-
coming out now? Because social
They're
What the
media.
fuck,
popping
right?
out of the fucking woodwork.
Guys, let's shut down this before we go into another 3-hour long discussion.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for watching Cunt Team Beta. We've had fun and lots of very interesting topics. Thank you, Zeal, and, well, Brackus, who was in the background, I guess, for some of it.
Zell.
I will keep saying your name as I say it. We have had Dolphin Radio, of course, Robert, Thorn,
Yeah.
and Reading Ren. We will see you guys all later. Go somewhere else. You can't stay here.